What's up, everybody? It's another Operation Wisedome. Today is June the 25th, Wednesday of 2025. This is episode Kajillion because I forget and we just have them every Wednesday and Saturday. So, of course, if you want to join in on Operation Wisedome, you can. Tonight's going to be pretty cool because what we got going on is I'm hosting my homeboy who is not here yet, but we will go ahead and start talking about it, which is Hayden. We just got big boy dismissals. I'm talking about big boy dismissals. I'm so hype about this one just due to the fact that we had a whole bunch of haters, and one of those haters I'm going to play right now. So what you'll notice is this hater is named Bodycam Films, and this video got 496,000 views. Some of the comments are, can you imagine having a regular conversation with this guy? He's literally energy vampire. I never wanted to see someone tase so badly in my life. We waited so long asking the suspect to get out of the vehicle because he was waiting for backup, safety first. I bet he's the president of multiple HOA boards. The lack of taser deployment in this video is extremely disappointing. What an awkward moment when the drunk guy you pulled over wants you to define the relationship. Let's check out a little more.
I would like it now. No, I make sense. I make complete sense.
Step out of car.
On May 27, 2024, an officer conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle for crossing the white line multiple times. He'll be surprised by how the driver responds to getting pulled over.
What's up, man? You crossed the white line a couple of times. Everything okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Do you have a driver's license, registration, proof of insurance?
All of it.
Where are you coming from?
I live in Northport.
That's not what I asked. I said, where are you coming from?
I'm going home. Work.
That's not what I asked again. Where are you coming
I
from?
don't have to answer.
Just say I don't want to answer. Don't tell me you're going home.
Okay.
To the question that I'm not asking.
Fair.
Do you have a registration and proof of insurance on you?
Somewhere in here, I have my proof of insurance on my phone. Can you?
No, I'm going to do that because I don't know what are you digging into.
Officer.
I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to have my lights on and you're going to give me whatever I ask, okay? Yeah, 15. Can I get a route 294?
Why you gotta be like this?
I need a registration and proof of insurance.
My homeboy Hayden, I'm sorry I have to interrupt, but my homeboy, my homeboy Hayden, he gave him the stare, and he said, "Why you being like this?" He gave him the stare down, bro. That was like the best ever. Wait, I gotta see this one more time. Sorry.
Yeah, 15. Can I get a route 294?
The stare down.
Why you gotta be like this?
I need a registration and proof of insurance. Do you have insurance on you?
I have it on my phone. I'll
Let it go.
for you.
Let this go.
Officer,
Step back.
please.
Sir, step out of the car for me.
Why?
Because I'm asking you.
No, I understand that you're asking me.
I'm going to ask you one more time. I'm going to put you in handcuffs if you don't get out of the
Why
car.
are you going to put me in handcuffs?
Because that's obstruction. I'm asking you to step out of the car. I'm asking you to step out of the car nicely. Next time, I'm not going to be that nice. Step out of the car for me, sir. I'm completely being cordial with you.
Yeah, I
You
know
just
you are.
started completely wrong foot.
Well, you pulled me over for no reason at all.
That wasn't no reason. You crossed white line multiple times. I was right behind you. The whole time in Sumter. Okay?
That's fair. That's fine.
You said I stopped you for no reason at all, so I said,
Right.
what's the reason for a stop?
Right. Was I speeding?
Speeding is not the only infraction in the book, sir.
Officer, please, with all due respect.
Sir, step out of the car.
Why?
With all due respect. Because I'm asking you
Can I
to.
have your badge number and
Sir,
your name?
absolutely. I'm going to give you all this stuff when
I would like it now.
when I finish my traffic stuff. Okay? Just step out of the car for me for now.
Officer,
Sir,
I've asked you for your name.
I'm going to provide all of that for you.
Okay, that's fine. I know that you will. I would like it now.
Sir,
I have.
I want you to step out of the car right
I know
now.
what you want,
But I'm
sir.
asking.
I know what you want.
Okay, so step out of the car nicely. You don't make it harder than it should be, man. There's nothing you
I'm
should
not
be worried
doing
about.
anything wrong with you.
Do as you're told.
I'm asking you to step out of the car.
I know that you are.
And you need to step out of the car.
Why do I need to?
Because I'm asking you to step out of the car.
Officer,
Sir,
just because you ask me to do something?
then you need to do.
Why?
That's a lawful request getting out of the car.
I'm not sure. I'm not certain
Okay,
that
that's
true.
fine.
Wes.
That's your interpretation. So get out of the car for now before I pull you out of the car.
Are you going to do that?
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
because that's obstruction.
Dude, obstruction. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to call you
I don't
dude.
care.
I just-
Whatever you want to call me.
I'm not obstructing anything.
I'm just asking you to step out of the car.
Why?
Because I'm asking you to do so.
This is my property.
That's
I
fine.
am inside my property.
And I'm
I
asking
don't
you
know
to step
why.
out of your property. So it's not that hard.
You're not wrong. It's not hard. I can step out easily.
Yeah, and please do that then.
Why? Simply
Because I'm
you asked
requesting
me?
you to do that. There's a case
No,
law
I
for it, the
understand
Supreme
that.
Court case law on it.
What's the case
When
law?
when
Can
the
you- can
when
you
the
explain it
officer.
to me?
No, I don't have to.
No,
but I'm
you should
asking.
have to.
No, I don't have to. But I'm asking you to. When I'm asking you to get out of the car, you need to get out of the car.
Why?
Okay? Because I'm requesting you to get out of the car.
Are we peers?
What's that?
Are we peers?
No,
No.
What are we?
sir. Step out of the car,
Please,
Second, third.
officer.
sir. For the 10th time, step out of
You're
the car.
not wrong. You've asked me to a number of times.
Correct.
Right.
And I want you to step out of the car.
But we're peers, and you can't explain why we're not peers.
I don't know what you're saying. You don't make sense at all. Step out of the car
No,
for
I
me.
make sense. I make complete
Sir,
sense.
step out of the car for me.
Peers. We are peers.
Sir, step out of the car for me for the 20th time now.
No, it's not the 20th. You just said the 10th, and now it's maybe the 11th or 12th. Officer,
I'm going to ask you one more time, then I'm going to pull you out of the car.
I know you will.
So step out of the car
I know
now.
you will.
Step out of the
I
car, sir.
know that you will.
Sir, step out of the car.
Why?
Because I'm asking you to.
Now you have your partner here.
Correct.
I can't defend myself against you, and you would not even think about
Okay.
how that works.
You know how it works?
I know how it works.
Okay.
I know how it works. You pull me out of my car,
Uh-huh.
even though I've done nothing wrong. You're pulling me out of my car.
You ready? You smell of alcohol is coming from your breath while I'm
Not a
talking
bit.
to you. Correct. Your eyes bloodshot watery. Okay. Listen to me. You're being completely belligerent for no
I'm
reason
not
at all.
being
You're
belligerent.
argumentative.
I am so much more coherent than you are.
Oh, okay.
It's insane.
Is it? So
You know
these
that.
reason I'm giving you, I'm asking you to get out of the car.
gosh, bro.
And also I see
I'm sorry,
I see an
officer.
open container
Yeah,
in the
there's
center
an open
console.
container there.
Yeah. So all this stuff that I'm explaining, that's the reason you need
had
to
a
step
beer.
out of the car.
I've had a
Okay.
beer.
So we step out of the car and we're gonna sort
I'm
it out.
not stepping out of my car.
Sir, you are stepping out of the car because I'm asking you. Skip out of the car. All right. Turn around.
Why are you doing this?
Stop doing that.
Why are you doing this?
Because you're being completely.
I'm not. You're making this up. I wish I had video of you. And
Everything's being
myself.
recorded, man.
Fine. Am I being like?
You're being detained as of right now. Yes.
You know, well, why? Why am I being detained?
Because you make me feel unsafe right now.
Is that lawful? Is that the lawful reason for
It is.
detaining me?
Stand there. William 15 Newport. I'm gonna have one detained.
Hayden was charged with obstruction without violence as well as driving under the influence.
Body cam files.
Hayden was charged with obstruction.
Look at that boy. Look at that boy. They had him looking down and out. They had him looking bad. They had him looking bad. Down and out, man. Man. Look how they have my boy. Look how they had my boy. Man, look how they had my boy. That's crazy. Well, you won't see him looking like that today. I promise you that. Uh, my boy don't look nothing like that today. Okay. What he does look like is a happy, successful man because he got all of his charges dismissed. All of them. Yep. Every single one. Don't believe me? Okay. We'll get there. You don't get the tidbits that quick. Okay. You got to go through the process. Just like Hayden went through the process. You know that yellow brick road I be talking about? Yellow brick road, you know what I'm talking? He went up and met Oz and was like, oh, nigga, you ain't Oz. I'm Oz, nigga. What? And came in one on that. Okay. And it took a lot of hard work. But guess what? He did it. He did it. And he didn't falter. He didn't stop. So
He's in here now.
yeah, Hayden's in here now. Yeah, I know my boy's in here now. That's for sure, for sure. And I think one of the first things I kind of want to get into is first off introducing Hayden. Hayden, if you want to come on and introduce yourself before we start getting into everything we had to deal with in relation to a whole bunch of mammo jammo that was just totally out of line. And yeah, bro, I want to get into it. And whenever he's ready, but maybe I should just get into it. Maybe he's not ready.
Well,
So,
I'm here, Cam.
oh,
I am operating, traveling in
you're
my
traveling.
red truck.
Yep, you're traveling.
So I will talk,
You
but
could,
I
okay.
can't really focus on what you're
No,
showing.
please focus on your traveling. That is the
Yeah, I don't need another fucking trumped up chart. Pardon my
real.
language.
For sure, for sure. No, you're good. So I'm looking at emails now, February the 3rd, January. Okay, so we got some Januaries in that one. Yeah, so our earliest emails are from January.
Yep.
See what we got going on here. Okay, so this expands out. Engage in traffic stops. Okay, so December the 25th. Okay. He said, I don't know if you hate cops, but I do. My nigga's pissed off. And he's like, he has an attorney. He plans on firing him. But other than finding another attorney, they ain't trying to do it. He's like, I was letting him know, hey man, I'm not an attorney. But you can come through and we'll see if we can help you out. And we're going back and forth. Let's see. I'm trying to see where you forwarded me. Wow, this was the thing that he deleted. So he ended up forwarding me over a Dropbox link that had everything in it, right? I think it was just all the documents at that time. And that's all that we had.
It was all the discovery that the state provided my do nothing attorney.
Yeah, this guy right here. So we're actually going to call him out. His name is Michael Kamadeko. And he's a founding partner now. Okay. Founding partner. Okay. I want you to remember this. He's a founding partner now. Okay. Of Titan LLC. Well, I don't know what kind of Titan you want to deal with here. Maybe he's in the fantasy land as far as Titans are concerned.
The Titan of deals.
The Titan of plea deals. Maybe that may be accurate. That may be a lot. I get it now. You're right. He's the Titan of plea deals. And he tried to have my boy do a plea deal. Okay. And how many hours did he say he worked on your case?
55.
Okay. And what did he file?
I'm sorry?
And what all did he file?
He submitted with the DMV, he submitted an appeal in an attempt to basically get it cleared, which, you know, like I complimented him on his letter. God damn it.
It's okay. I'll take over for a moment. So what we're showing on the screen is just, you know, what's going on as far as what's getting paid. The initial cost, $2,500, paid in full. We offer a payment plan. was a pleasure speaking with you. Your option to contest the DL suspension with the DMV is a formal review hearing. The alternative is a hardship license. I'm available to answer any and all questions. Looks like then he gave over some documents in relation to just what's being claimed. These were kind of funny. After reading the defendant the DUI implied consent, he advised that he was not going to do anything before he spoke to his lawyer. I explained to the defendant and advised him that if he failed to give me an answer, I would take it as a refusal when he stated that he was not going to answer anything before he spoke to his lawyer. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So, upon completion of the pre-plea sanctions, you will be offered a plea of reckless driving. That's what they wanted to do. So, he wanted to get a plea of reckless driving, right? 12 months probation. What? Successful completion of DUI school and treatment. Oh my God. No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay. Cost of investigation, cost of prosecution. They wanted to have all this. Well, no. Okay. Complete 4 work offender days. What does that mean? Can someone please tell me? I think that means going to jail for a couple days.
Yeah, they wanted to put me in an orange suit and pick up trash on the side of the road.
Yeah, being in jail for a little bit. No, thank you. Okay. I don't know what they got going on here, but we're not taking plea deals. This is not part of the arrangement here. I'm confused. I thought lawyers were supposed to get you out of this bullshit. Many of these questions have previously been answered multiple times. Is this where he was telling you that he was not going to help you?
Say that again.
Yeah. Okay. So homeboy here, Hayden had questions. I was telling, me and Hayden are talking and we're like, hey, Hayden's like, what's going on? This guy's like tripping, like I'm asking him questions he don't want to answer. And the guy's like, unfortunately, your delays in making a decision are significantly affecting our options moving forward. Sounds like a little coercion there, if you don't.
Yep.
Doesn't that sound like coercion? Like I'm threatening you to hurry up and make a decision based on this because, I'm kind of like dangling something over your head, right?
Yeah, it was, I'm running out of time to prepare a defense for you.
Yeah, okay, buddy. Oh, it sounds so good.
And then I asked him to provide me with an itemized,
Look, yeah. Remember, yeah, we got
documentation of, what the time he spent on my case, and he refused. He refused to give me anything. He just said, I've spent 55 hours on your case.
Yeah, and then this nigga, look, he said again, I will be forced to file my motion to withdraw in order to protect you. I cannot represent you without proper communication. Oh my God. Look at him starting to threaten. And then
We'll deal with him. For sure.
dang it, I don't know. Okay, so those went to April, January, and then February. February 12th, you shared some hearings. And then, this was so way back. Oh, they did. I remember they answered. That was cool. Okay, so what did we file to get an answer back from them? Because they admitted certain things. Admitted in part and deny in part. This was the state's traverse and demur. Admit with clarification the defendant was seated. Deny the Officer Validity was conducting a traffic stop and subsequent investigation. Officer Validity asked the defendant to provide the vehicle paperwork. The defendant held out the paperwork and refused to let it go. Officer Validity asked the defendant to step out of the vehicle multiple times. The defendant acknowledged the officer's request but refused to step out of the vehicle. The officer had to assist the defendant out of the vehicle. Assist him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. While outside the vehicle, defendant resisted and pulled his arm away from the officer. Yeah, he had every lawful right actually to do that because it was an illegal detainment. He didn't assist anybody out. He took him out against his own free will without probable cause of a crime or any safety being posed to the officer in and of itself, thereby extending the stop beyond a de minimis amount, which is required to just go ahead and issue the citation. It's Rodriguez versus United States, homeboy. We're not playing with this shit no more. Traffic infractions are not crimes. That's people versus battle. You cannot issue a warrantless arrest out legally against any person for a traffic violation. We're not playing with no.
Of which there was none.
Like, we're done.
There was no violation.
No, there was no violation. So anyways, me and Hayden, we start working, right? You see the emails. But then if we really get into it, oh man, I messed up. If we really get into it, then we're coming over into Hayden. And what you'll notice is that we started off on January the 10th working together. And we started scouring things and looking at signatures and figuring out where there wasn't signatures. And we just started, studying. And as we began to study, right, showing that he refused or they didn't do Mirandas, your driving privileges will be suspended. I mean, we get into it very deep on reviewing just the paperwork at first, right? And this is going all the way back into January now. Now, this goes into very deep aspects of what we're preparing for, what strategy he's looking at, what he might want to do. And some of the first things that we were doing, of course, I think was sending over letters. Yep, we sent this letter over to his attorney. And having aspects be brought up to the attorney to see, well, what was this attorney going to say and what could he really offer in relation to what we were discussing? And it's very interesting to find out that I think the attorney at one point, let's see. This is a response. We can definitely schedule a Zoom meeting to discuss my case in the upcoming trial. I would greatly appreciate your guidance and any updates you can. Oh, regarding the proceeding. Oh, this is.
Sounds like disco's about to start.
Jeez. Okay, so then he says, he responds back to Hayden. He says, we will provide you with a Zoom information. There's no need to worry about that. Again, please let us know. I have no problem if you need emotional support from a family member, such as a mother who has contacted. This alarms me to the possible competency issues, which I have not previously had. This dude here has just gone off the wall. Right, so then I think we developed maybe a possible response. I don't know if you use this or not. But it was to address the Zoom meeting and hosting, inclusion of non-attorney participants, meaning other people such as moi and others who wanted to participate, and demand for next steps, right? Possible. And the reason we're demanding is because we've paid this dude, right? He's not running things. We're telling him what we want. Maybe he responded here, HGFRH. Okay, here's some more.
Good evening, everybody.
First and foremost, I want to emphasize that my primary responsibility is to advocate for you and to pursue the most effective strategies for your case. This includes making strategic decisions that are in the best interest of your defense. While I respect and welcome your involvement and input, I cannot allow external demands or threats to jeopardize the integrity of your case. My commitment to you remains unwavering, zealous, strategic, and I will continue to fight on your behalf provided this behavior ceases. Your behavior must cease, Hayden. You getting told, bro. You getting put in your place, homeboy. You better watch out, nigga. Why you getting... You better sit down, boy. I run this show, and I'm the attorney. Ooh, as you have now elected to proceed to trial. Uh-oh. What did I just do, bro? What just happened? I want to reiterate that our case contains several key defenses. Oh my gosh. and I am prepared to look forward to the opportunity to fully litigate these on your behalf. The appropriate defenses will be presented in due course and at the appropriate times. However, I must request that you trust the process and allow me to carry out not only my strategies, but my professional responsibilities. This does not mean you will be excluded from the process. On the contrary, it means that we must engage in meaningful discussions and open communication. I ask for your cooperation in minimizing distractions that could hinder my preparation, such as engaging in legal debates that I have already been explained, taking advisement from outside, non-bar admitted individuals as to defenses, cases, and statuses that do not apply to our case. If you are not willing to properly
We talk
cooperate,
about you, Cameron.
if you if you are not if you are not willing to properly cooperate with me in this trial preparation, I will have no choice but to withdraw from your case and take your money. While this is not my wish, this is the only option to protect you from your own sabotage of this case.
Do it.
Did he say that? Did he say sabotage?
Yeah, it's right here,
Oh
nigga.
shit, I haven't read that in a long time, bro.
Woo!
Like, I
Woo!
moved on from him quick.
Oh yeah, you sabotage yourself so well, you got a nole prosecute.
As
Talk about
such,
gaslighting.
As such, please find attached a motion to withdraw and notice. This motion has merely been filed. Our hearing is scheduled for February the 10th at 1:30 p.m. Your appearance is mandatory. Should you wish for me to withdraw, I will also request at that time the state stipulate a continuance for your docket sounding so that you can find other counsel. If new counsel is what is needed, please begin your process to obtain one immediately. Should we remedy this situation, which is my hope, I will withdraw the motion. Additionally, I'd like to remind you of the terms outlined in our signed representation agreement. Our fees are flat and earned upon receipt, not billable by the hour. As such, I am not required to provide a breakdown of time spent. However, for your reference, I conservatively eliminated no less than 56 hours of my personal time has been devoted to your case. This includes conversations and emails, document reviews, meetings, and strategy sessions with my teams, and negotiations, investigation, research, drafting of motions, and memoranda for your pleading with the FLHSMV hearings, and more. Please note that this does not include the time spent by my staff. So if you would like to move this to a billable retainer, I would happily apply my rate of $550 an hour to past and future work. Wow. Now, I'm not that this is going to happen. I'm just saying, if he's charging $550 an hour, boy, what does that mean I should be charging? Just saying. Just saying.
I
This
say
option.
don't base your costs on those scam artists because that's exactly why they do that to people.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. But if someone of that low caliber is valuing themselves at $550 an hour, how much more am I more than valuable than even they are? Is what I'm
The
saying.
Lord valued
That-
you.
Like,
True.
dude is like literally talking to his client in the way that he's doing it because he's asking questions to know more about the law rather than taking a plea deal that requires all of these entanglements of chains that are bound to him. Not us.
And that means we all better start donating some stuff for Cam's time and
I mean, it's not. I mean, donations are amazing. But what I'm just saying is that, like, it's cool that I'm being able to help people the way that I'm being able to help people, and that we're all being able to help each other in the way that we're helping people, and that people are growing so strong that man, let's just keep going. If you would like a physical copy of the correspondence with the state, I can have the emails printed and ready for your pickup at your convenience. I truly hope the recent course of action subsides so I can continue to properly take your dollars and represent you in trial. I enjoy working with you and taking your money, and I want to ensure that I am able to fully advocate on your behalf during the trial. Thank you for your understanding, and I look forward to hearing from you regarding how you wish to proceed. Looking ass. I swear that's probably how he wrote this email, bro. He really probably was sounding like that in his own mind. Hayden says, "What time is Opwise tomorrow?" Yeah, trash ass dude. I told you, bro. I told you he was a trash ass dude. He was so bad. Okay.
I'll drop
And
that bass.
I don't know if I told you when I showed up for my docket sounding after I submitted via mail my motion for continuance, notice of termination of counsel. When I was at court for that docket sounding, he was present via Zoom. That just creeped me the fuck out. I'm sorry, we're recording. That creeped me out big time.
Oh no, you're fine. It's all good. This is staying internally within Operation Wisedome only. I can't release this out into the public.
Okay.
Yeah, there's confidentiality issues here that I don't want dude to trip out on. So it'll have to be exclusive to Wisedome Discord only. So like, yeah, okay, so the e-file, let's see what else we got going on. So we got basic procedures, educational brief of motions. We was breaking down the educational overview of expanded motions and writs. Then we came through and we developed a compel. Now, I don't know if this is in February or not, but what I'm trying to get at is me and Hayden actually went fairly deep in relation to getting things prepared and him to understand. Am I right or wrong, Hayden?
Yep.
Was it like multiple hours of just like going through and reading these things and research and having discussions and figuring out what was best for you to and how to apply it?
And to be honest,
Now,
I
let
don't
me give you
remember a
some
whole lot
context.
about
Okay, well, let
our
me give you
early.
context. February 3rd. I appreciate you and your encouragement. I'm learning a lot, but not necessarily feeling like I know it, if that makes sense. Okay, so I went to the courthouse today to submit my notice of termination of counsel and a motion for continuance. Even though the clerk figured it out for me, I didn't want to submit subpar looking paperwork, so I decided not to submit them today. I'm going to revise them with the correct case numbers. On the notice of termination, I put all three numbers my attorney used in his motion to withdraw, so since I'm going back tomorrow to submit them properly with at least I want to file a motion for discovery, and I'm doing a pretty good job of using ChatGPT to write things up for me, but I'm still not able to import a ChatGPT generated document into Overleaf, right? So he's trying to say, okay, well, I'm figuring out how to use it, ask some questions to get to know some things, and then we're working back and forth, right? And so as we're working back and forth, we're speaking on things and doing more research. We're talking about the fruit of the poisonous tree, going into the Miranda, the destruction of evidence, the mens rea, actus rea, principle of lenity, bringing in that doctrine, and just really diving in. So, now Hayden had never seen Carl Miller, and you had watched Carl Miller. What did you think about Carl Miller's video? You watched it. You said you watched it on February 7th or around then.
Oh man, I've watched it like 5 times.
Okay, since then.
Yeah. Can't get enough of that.
And now Carl Miller's video is very empowering because he goes through it and he reads it and he tells it like it is and he knows it and he believes it and it's his truth because he knows who he is. Carl Miller knows who he is. He doesn't question it. He knows that the court is made to obey him just as much as them. If I rebut what they're saying, they must bring back the rebuttal itself, and the judge must be impartial. If the judge is moving the court in certain directions when you've called for certain rights, hey man, you got to call that out. Me and my boy today was just working on it. I can't show, well, maybe, yeah, me and my boy was just working on it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, what did we do here? Let's see what this is. So we just kept developing more and more and more and more and more. And as we're developing, what's next? The defendant's notice of discovery. You hadn't had any body cam or anything yet, right?
Well, so the Dropbox from my attorney contained all of that.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
But
right.
then it was completely unavailable to me.
That's right. He totally disappeared it.
Yep.
He was like, "Oh, you want to play with me? Yeah, we're taking down the Dropbox link. No more access for you, homeboy," and took it away just like that. I was like, "Damn, bro, this dude is dirty, bro." And it's because we called him out. What we call him out on? What we call him out on?
Him not doing anything.
Him not doing a damn thing. What's the only thing that he did do?
Like I said, he did the formal review, hearing, appeal, and then he filed a motion for a continuance because he wanted to get my therapist's medical records because we've all seen it where I tell the officer that I'm being screened for autism. It's like, can you get me your medical records? Like that was going to help, Well, he was argumentative because, he's on the spectrum.
Well, okay, so let me see.
And so I actually got a written letter from my therapist stating that I was diagnosed both with autism and CPTSD from childhood trauma. I gave that to him, and he's like, "I wouldn't give this to a judge."
Damn.
It's like, awesome, great, thanks for your help.
So damn, bro. Okay, so back in February the 21st, 2021, he says, with my hearing for a motion to dismiss coming up on March 28th, I have a couple of questions. What kind of arguments? Let me see. Where's this at? You ask these questions. Oh, right here. Maybe not. I don't know where you asked those questions at. But where'd it go? Dude, things are just moving too fast. Where are we at? Pre-hearing preparation. Attorney-client privilege. Oh, okay. What arguments might the prosecution and judge raise? Prosecution's likely arguments: procedural challenge, disputed facts versus undisputed in Florida, many motions dismiss. Prosecutor reiterate the officer saw specific driving behavior, swerving. Yep. Obvious container had alcohol. Yep. They don't have to prove without a reasonable doubt. There's possible. Okay. If your motion is brought, yep. There's effectively motion to suppress. Okay. Listen, this is what's crazy. What we was actually already working on actually got brought forth exactly like it had happened and played out. So right here, it says the judge may ask if this motion is effectively a motion to suppress, challenging the stop or the destruction of evidence. Typically, a motion to dismiss on 3.190C4 can succeed only if the undisputed facts do not constitute a crime. If your motion also includes a fruit of the poisonous tree argument, that might need an evidentiary hearing akin to a suppression hearing. Uh-oh. And what happened? She actually did exactly that, right?
Yep.
She actually did exactly that. She took it as a motion to suppress. She said, I'm not going to grant it at this time. I'm going to take it as a motion to suppress. We're going to go into an evidentiary hearing. Oh, I'm going to wait. Okay. So homie got in there on his first hearing. Let me see what's going down. Hayden state denies a reply to view. Then we are still developing documents and stuff, right? But what's cool is Hayden's like one of the first ones, I don't know if the first, but where we started doing hypothetical hearings, right? Scripts. And started doing the practicing where we're getting more sound mind of understanding just a little bit how we need to speak in the court, right? Know a little bit more about what we need to know and what we need to say. And these were cool because, of course, we're coming in with rules of procedure, rules of evidence, using doctrines and maxims to be able to apply and go into, again, those deeper aspects of what I argue, what I love arguing, what I love bringing forth, should I say, which is creator endowed rights. Okay. And those are so important. Like what? So coming in on objections on all kinds, facts not in evidence. I mean, coming in all over the place. And if you ever want to really come in and start to get an aspect, if you had a DUI, I think Hayden's situation in Discord channel is probably going to be the best thing for you to kind of know what you need to do with a DUI. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's got everything that how they're going to play out the situation, how they're going to play it, and how you need to come in strong and develop certain things and understand and comprehend certain things. Let me see what else we got going on. Hayden, you got any words right now? Did those hypotheticals help you? Hello?
I had to go to the bathroom.
This nigga. Did the hypotheticals help you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, you go to the bathroom. Yeah, you can just interrupt me when you're out and want to speak on that. I'd like you to speak more on that. Let's see. And then something I have been working on this morning. And so when he comes back to me, of course, he's like, this is my approach and this is what I'm thinking. And then, of course, he's let me know an order on the motion to dismiss. This matter became for consideration on the defendant's memorandum of law in support of a motion to dismiss. It is hereby ordered and adjudged as follows. The state filed a traverse sufficiently denying the defendant's statement of facts. Therefore, the court must deny the motion to dismiss. The hearing on the motion to dismiss, concurrently scheduled for March 28th, is canceled, as no hearing on the motion to dismiss now is necessary. Oh, really? Y'all don't want to talk on the deeper merits on what I'm talking about, huh? Y'all just want to say, oh, right here we could have hit for a reconsideration, but I think we let this one slide.
Well, we did have a motion for, well, we had a reconsideration argument prepared, but I didn't have to go through that because I just told the judge, I was like, hey, I showed up to present my motion to dismiss, so that's what I'd like to do. And she's like, okay, well, we've got the time for it, so go ahead.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay. So the court will hear the motion for deposition at the currently scheduled time of March 28th. All right. And the court will also treat the defendant's filing as a motion to suppress. Here we go. See? Due to the defendant's argument that the Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights were violated, the undersigned's assistance with coordinate and evidentiary hearing, coordinate, the undersigned's assistant with coordinate, oh my gosh, and evidentiary hearing with the parties for this purpose. Okay? But what's cool is that this was March 24th, and we already had this same thing being projected that she might do on February the 12th. Okay? So that's not bad. I'll take that. That's a dub. That's a swish. I'll take a 3-pointer on that one. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy to see that. It's pretty outstanding, actually. So we got that, and then homie's like, hey, yep, got a new game plan, my G. And I was like, okay, reconsideration first, but not much has changed working in the background. And then, tell me this ain't what you want. So now I'm getting a little bit confident with him. I'm like, yo, let me see if he's feeling me here. I'm starting to feel him, starting to understand his vibe, what he's going through. And you've seen this situation. And we hit for a motion for a reconsideration of denial of motion to dismiss and reinstatement of hearing. Did you file this one, Papa? Motion for reconsideration of denial of motion to dismiss and reinstatement of hearing. Hayden to the stage.
I didn't know.
Tell me he's still in.
No, I'm not.
Motion for a reconsideration of denial of motion to dismiss and reinstatement of hearing. Did you file this one?
No.
Okay, cool. We developed it though. He didn't use it. All right. So, didn't we already watch this one?
Well,
Yeah.
I had, like I said, I thought maybe I was still muted. Um, I was prepared to submit that, um, but or I was prepared to submit it at the hearing, but
Okay.
since
Yeah.
I just went over my motion to dismiss, like I didn't feel like there was any need to actually bring that up.
Yeah, and what's cool here is I want to just show a little bit. Like this is March 26th, and Homeboy's up at my time at least 5:38. In here responding, and we're responding back and forth. We can get back and forth to each other, asking questions, right? And as we're getting back and forth in here, what you'll notice is that he's asking, does anybody else want to have a look? Cam and anybody else take a look. Share the read link, and even Joe's in this thing. So what's really crazy is we haven't, and it's on the small things. Like Homie, like right here, he was like, I understand by definition what an admissible traverse is, but how do I recognize it? Like these small things that we speak about is what gets the overall aspect of knowing what he needs to know when he's in these hearings. And it's just like, if you want something, you got to know it. You see what I'm saying? I can't be there for you. I can be the facilitator of helping and facilitating everything that I possibly can within all that I am. But at the same time, too, it's like a tit for tat. We gotta tap up off of each other. And then, it's like once I'm again feeling his situation, then I'm like, all right, let me try and develop this. This might not work. Oop, let me delete that. Come back over here, bring this in. Oh, no. Okay, let me change that up. And then boom. Then I can give Homeboy something that's really again getting back to another hearing script. Right? And it's and I think Hayden will be honest with you. Hayden, did you use some scripts in these hearings, bro?
Um, well, I had a script for my motion to dismiss hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had a, an outline and questions for the first evidentiary hearing, which I did get I did get thrown a bit, but I managed to keep it together. Um, in retrospect, like with respect to the officer deposition, he in the video and even in his report talked about me crossing the line, right? And that was a big thing in the questioning that we developed, was based on that that violation, like that actual statute. And he's like, well, we don't I don't have to cite you for that. I was like, and like that threw me. And I was like, after the fact, I was thinking, well, I could have still questioned him on it because he's the one who pointed that out to me when he had me outside my truck in handcuffs. He's
Right,
like, that's why, essentially, he was saying, that's why I pulled you over.
right.
Um, and then, but I mean, otherwise that went pretty smoothly, just the questioning. And I was actually glad that we didn't have to do final arguments on that day, because I would have been a deer in the headlights. Um, because I wouldn't have been prepared for it, like mentally and in terms of having something to say. So I'm really glad that it got broken up into a second evidentiary hearing. Um, but I was also prepared for the state to bring forth the assisting officer and some other video footage, which they didn't bring.
and that kind of threw me too. But ultimately I did get to present my final arguments. I was able to argue against certain points that the state brought forth, without real preparation for those things, simply because, I knew what was going on.
Hello, good
You
morning.
know what I mean?
Good morning. So, did everyone get my order from 20 days ago? Yes. Did you get that, Mr. Gardner?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, it's a procedural issue, and I am going to have it set for an evidentiary hearing. And so I think, have you guys started coordinating that with Lana?
I have not received anything from Lana as far as dates go, no.
Okay, so I'll make sure that she does that. I mean, okay. I could probably try to see if they would need something today. How long do you think you would need, Miss Eastman? And then I'm gonna ask you the same question.
So, Your Honor, I will have the officer testify. Anticipate I could wrap that up within 30 to 45 minutes, probably 30 minutes for argument. One of the issues is going to be admissions or statements. We will be arguing there's some statements that should come in, and we might be able to concede that some statements should stay out. However, is Your Honor wanting to review the body cam, or you want me to play it in court? Because the body cam is about an hour and a half.
Well, it's gonna be up to you. Oh, I see what you're saying. No, I think I should probably review it in court. What she's saying is sometimes if there's a video, you guys don't sit through it. I just watch it in chambers.
Okay.
It kind of saves everybody's time from sitting.
How was you feeling in this first court hearing right here, bro?
I was really just kind of taking it all in, not really sure what to expect.
Yeah, because like I said at that time, you was shaky at first, bro. But then you came out, you was goated. My boy said, I got a lot of questions. Man, I don't know where this one's at. Oh, where's it?
So
Respectfully ask the court to keep in mind that I must make a full record of these points, given my obligation, excuse me, to preserve all issues for appeal if necessary. With that, I will summarize my legal grounds. The outrageous government conduct due process violation. The police misconduct here was so egregious that it meets the standard for objective entrapment, or outrageous conduct that violates due process. Florida's Due Process Clause, Article 1, Section 9, protects defendants from egregious law enforcement behavior. When the government's methods are incompatible with fundamental fairness, courts must dismiss the case to uphold constitutional rights. In State v. Glosson, for example, the Florida Supreme Court affirmed dismissal of charges due to law enforcement's misconduct, finding that a contingency paid informant scheme, quote unquote, deprived the defendants of due process. The court in Glosson expressly held that such due process issues are an objective question of law for the trial judge, not something to be left to a jury, and that outrageous conduct requires dismissal. Similarly, in Munoz v. State, the court observed that prosecutions must be barred when police tactics, quote, offend canons of decency and fairness, end quote. Here the officer's comment.
For docket sounding, unless you want to, but I can just move the docket sounding so we can do it at the same time. Does that sound all right?
Can you repeat that for me, please?
So we have a docket sounding on the 23rd. Let's just move that to the 25th, so everyone just has to come back once on this case that week.
But my boy was going in on the first hearing. He came in really strong after dropping that attorney, as you can tell. Did he not? Y'all tell me. Did he sound strong coming in after dropping that attorney? Never having an attorney before? Never defending himself? Yes or no?
He came in so strong, it sounded like he'd been watching Boston Legal.
The boy said,
it sounded like he was the lawyer himself.
That's amazing. That's amazing what he did.
Yeah, my boy came in strong, bro, on that first one. He came in strong. He was, if you listen to this first one, no cap, it was a little shaky. He was scaring me. I ain't gonna lie. This first one coming in on March 28th when he posted it, I was like, oh no. No, Hayden, get control of the ship. Get in there, Captain. You run this thing. He did, man. He came in. He did. I remember it now because that's why I said I thought you were shaky at first and I was scared. And I was. Okay. And then Hayden main prelim zip. So I think I gave him a big drop website for skeleton evidentiary. This isn't going to work. It does still work. Wow. So this was our early days. When was this? March 30th. Nice. If anybody wants stuff like this, you can have it, but it's kind of not always necessary. But we did have a website developed for him to come in here and download his documents. So he has a whole website, right? And then he had a hearing strategy, right? Key strategies for those. If anybody wants to look into this, I'll give you that website in the chat. It's pretty cool. We made and developed this for Manus, and it's actually amazing. Far way ahead of what any paid attorney is going to provide you. That's for sure. Would you agree, Hayden?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we're way ahead of the game. Operation Wisedome's got this shit. And then legal resources, of course, coming in and what's being applied directly to his case. And yeah, just some pretty cool, all the legal documents at that time, what we was working on, which was the order to dismiss, stage traverse with demur, the defense filings for suppression, original motion to suppress, and then a motion for reconsideration of denial of motion to dismiss. But we got into that evidentiary hearing and hey, it started moving. So let's see what this is. Oh, does this got sound? Can y'all see this?
The dash cam?
Y'all can see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like homie's in his blind spot just chilling. Like
Yep.
making it hard for Hayden to drive. Like, why are you driving like that on my boy? Like, what's going on? Hayden's just wondering, like, what's going on? And you can tell the cop's slowing down again, just staying in that blind spot, bro. Hayden's just chilling.
Stalker.
Dun 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 dun. So I don't know, but apparently they're calling this drunk driving, which is kind of weird. Calling this a DUI. That's what he got charged with. I don't know how you call that DUI, but oh, he went over the line a little bit there. He went over the line a little bit there. Oh, as soon as he hit that blinker, boy, them lights came on.
The police station's right there too.
I want to see him open the door real quick. Where's he open the door? I want to see how quickly he opened it. You got his arm all up all on your truck. I'd be like, dude, get off my truck, bro. Look at him. I'm opening the door. Fuck this. Open this bitch ass door. I'm coming in. Get out. What? Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. What we say at this time? Would you like me to develop a questioning around that as well? And due to the dash cam, you're not going to be found guilty. I told my boy from the jump, it's time to win this and sue the cop. Man, bro. It was around the end of March. Let's see. Would you question him on that? I overlooked the case law cited in my motion to dismiss Provos versus State. I was looking it over, and last night when I noticed it, I can't seem to find it anywhere on the internet. Can you describe the video you saw? Okay, look at this, Hayden. This is great. This is good stuff to bring forth. My biggest concern, okay, now this is late for him, or it's late for me. It was 3:32 my time, or maybe it was just early for him. My biggest concern at the moment is that I am not going to get evidence suppressed. Oh, wow, Papa Bear. Go ahead, Noel.
Hey, brother. I had a question. Do you need to rescind your driver's license in order to get private plates and travel freely and all this stuff?
Oh, well, it definitely helps. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because as far as I know, like I've been watching your videos, and I think you still have your driver's license from Texas or something like that.
This nigga. No, I don't have a driver's license from Texas.
Oh no. So you rescind everything?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can what if you don't want to
But
rescind it?
that's
Like,
not. But this is. We're not talking about that right now, bro. I'm
okay,
sorry.
all right. No, I got you.
Okay.
Fuck.
So what I was going to say is, Hayden, your biggest concern at that moment was not getting evidence suppressed. And how much did we actually get suppressed? Just in the order that we didn't challenge.
I guess we'll never know, man.
No, we do know. Remember,
I
we
mean,
heard that. How many minutes was it? And when
oh, like
and what were we going
roughly
for?
35 minutes, 32 minutes.
Yep. And what was we going for? We said, no, actually, we think it's different. And what was we actually going to attack next before we got the dismissal? Or we did.
All of it based on the unlawful stop.
From the very fucking beginning, right?
Right.
So when they saw that come through, the next day, nope, I can't get there yet. We're waiting. So his concern was at this moment in time that he wasn't going to get anything suppressed. Namely, because the court won't rule that the stop was unlawful. He doesn't see if getting a rule that even there's one instance of me driving on that lane. Right?
Yeah, I
Again,
mean, and
evidence should
literally
be
there was
suppressed.
no weaving, right?
No.
Like I touched the center line a single time, at least as far as the video is concerned, right? Touch the center line, approaching cones, and then, bro, I'm telling you, like, I didn't know that I drove on that right lane right then, but I was looking at him in my side view mirror, watching him change lanes and then turn his lights on.
And what's cool too is that what you'll notice is that throughout Hayden's, the whole creation of Operation Wisedome, and Hayden want to be in being one of the first ones to actually come in, get rid of his attorney, move forward. A lot of people were coming in and sharing things that they had found and things that might be helpful. You can see here Miguel, coming through and bringing some info in for my boy, just to kind of understand, a little bit more of how each and every person is seeing their perspective, because their perspective allows one to be able to say, okay, I can take some from this, I can take some from this, and I can gain and comprehend overall what I need to and figure out who I'm gaining the information from the best, right? Because everybody learns different. You dig what I'm talking about? So, but my homeboy never stopped working. He kept working and questioning and working and listening and questioning and working. And this was a desire for him to know within himself what he needed to know. He knew nothing. Had you ever defended yourself in court before, Hayden?
No.
Did you ever study any of this kind of shit before?
Well, I mean, a little bit. I've known about Eddie Craig for like probably 15 years,
Okay, cool.
like, so I'm privy, but I didn't internalize it.
Right.
Is it safe to say I saw on the paper it said he was swerving? How was we swerving?
Exactly. And then he said I was driving between two lanes, right? Like I drove like that last moment before he initiated his emergency lights, I drove on the lane like hard, but I didn't cross fully, and I damn sure wasn't driving between two lanes. That was in his police report. But even the state didn't admit any of his police report into evidence.
Yeah,
In
that was all
Texas, that's
hearsay.
illegal.
Well, she determined everything in that police report hearsay. And we just kept working with this boy. I'm talking about, man, look, everybody. Joe coming in this thing. The video, we finally did the video on it. That was back in April. And you can just see, jeez, dude. Hayden evidentiary script. So we prepared very hard. Here's a motion to suppress. We tapped in and did the motion to suppress and finally got it ready to roll all the way out.
Yeah, I used a lot of ink.
This was a 14-pager. Evidentiary hearing script. Where'd that go? I'm not finna download that. Jeez, everybody in this thing. Well, I mean, like, and then you had your hearing, but I don't even see it. Where's that? Habeas corpus. Lana's bringing in habeas corpus. Now, oh, Lana came through. Now, this is about the time Lana came through and figured out about what was going on with you and started giving some input. Now, Lana ended up coming out to one of your court hearings, correct?
Twice, bro. Twice.
Twice. She came and drove and supported as a Wisedome member and came and seen you and supported you at your hearings, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. And so we can see Lana coming in and starting to get some examples of what she's finding. It's habeas petition filings, things in regards to that. So like I say, that's what's amazing about Operation Wisedome is people will come in and give their take on things, right? As he gave me something here on April 20th, I gave him something back on April 21st, and we're going back and forth in relation to lines of questioning, right? That can be utilized for the evidentiary hearing itself and being prepared for real, and making sure that the questions are correct. And I think we went back and forth on this one quite a bit. What's up, Ralph?
Yeah, that
Hey,
was a good start. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm in need of somebody to kind of guide me on how to e-file. I've got to file an emergency injunction and restraining order on a bench warrant the judge issued because I refuse to identify as the legal fiction.
All right. We'll have to talk about that another time, Papa. So then
Yeah,
we had
I understand. Thank you.
the sovereign citizen event, right? That was popping. But what was cool too is that I forget where it's at. I know it got hosted somewhere, but we literally yeah, the Friday night is when he had the evidentiary hearing, and that was the first day of the sovereign citizen event.
Yeah, and then I talked to you and Brandon and Quentin that night. That was awesome.
Yeah, bro. The highlight of my day was definitely listening to the hearing and hearing my boy go in like he went in, and it was pretty dope. And if anybody wants to hear that hearing, you can still hear that hearing. The link is up for people if they want to hear that. It's pretty badass. He did really good. It was a 2-hour hearing, and he drilled the fucking he drilled that that cop. Did him pretty dirty. And so we came through and we started developing some more. Now we're in May finally. And we did another motion to suppress with a proposed order, an exhibit list with a declaration to follow as well. Homeboy's bringing in some case law that he found and was studying and was like, hey, this is what the judge was talking about. Because the judge actually at the end of the evidentiary hearing in and of itself, she came out and she was like, hey, I'm going to be pulling case law from this, whoop, 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 whoop. And she started naming it off to where homeboy was able to write it down and really put something together to understand a little bit more for the next hearing because they didn't finish in that 2 hours. They didn't get to the conclusions and their final arguments. And so he was preparing for that next hearing for the enhanced closing arguments, right? And just really getting himself comfortable. What would you say? Was you really already kind of feeling comfortable at that point, Hayden?
I was super comfortable and confident with questioning the officer.
Okay. Well, let's go into the first hearing then. So with the first hearing, was the prosecutor shaky? Were they, kind of authoritative? What did it seem like to you?
Um, Not shaky, but passive.
Okay.
You know, not really like, I don't know. I almost got the feeling like she either, I don't want to call her dumb, but either was dumb or was playing dumb. And, you know, up until yesterday, like I had it in my head, like, man, what if she was just sitting back and letting me play my cards to see where I was coming from to form her arguments against me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, obviously, you know, and again, I don't know what happened because if you look at that if you look at that notice for the no prosecute, however that's pronounced, her
Nola
name is
Prosecute.
crossed out. Her name is crossed out. Shannon Eastman. She's the only ADA that I had encountered. Her name is crossed out. Another ADA is written in. And there were two of the same notices printed and emailed to me, both of which are on the docket. The one to me is crossed out, another name written in, no signature. The one to the clerk is crossed out, name written in, signed by that person.
Mm.
But I did look at the docket again today, and the court canceled the hearing for July 2nd, and my bonds are available.
Let's go. And you know what? And you know what? You need to get a stamped and sealed copy. But hold up, man. You're giving all the goods up already, bro.
My
Chill.
bad.
Yeah. Okay, so then May 22nd, now we're into it. Homeboy's talking about counterclaim in federal court or move it to a real court. Hey, that's always an option. I'm telling you, from what I've seen today, this is probably just do it. Just do it. Just go up. Just go up. Quit playing these people. Should I have a bill of particulars? He started questioning that around May 25th.
I was at the time though when I did ask about that, I was confused about what a bill of particulars was.
Right. Well, Barb, you understand more now, though, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Because I was ready to
Like,
submit
this
one.
was dishonest because
Like,
I feel this way, all right? So, all right, I'm going to assume then that both sides have presented the evidence, and at this point, we're gonna make arguments based on the evidence, okay? So it's your motion.
In this case, that container would be inculpatory evidence, not exculpatory evidence. The officer did not have any evidence that belonged to.
Bitch, talking about it's gonna be inculpatory and not exculpatory. It'd be exculpatory if it didn't have alcohol in it, wouldn't it? But we wouldn't know that because he dumped it out.
it was empty anyways.
Oh well, see.
Except for dribbles.
The point is still being, hey man, didn't even preserve the evidence, bro.
Right, exactly.
To someone else.
And I tried to make that point.
Under duress, or at least extreme suspicion. We must invoke Terry versus Ohio, which demands, quote,
Did you hear that? My boy just invoked Terry versus Ohio. Why are others trying to get rid of it? Is it because they don't understand how to use it and apply it?
Yep.
Might that be the case?
It is abused though, as Tony would point out. It is abused.
But you can get around it.
It works against the ignorant.
We need to correct that, though, is what he's saying. We need to get
Absolutely,
it back out
for
there as
sure.
being the good way.
For sure.
quote, specific and articulable facts, quote, end quote, to justify an investigatory stop. Where those facts are themselves a product of the officer's own unusual and arguably intimidating conduct, the foundation of reasonable suspicion crumbles. In fact, Delaware versus Prowse prohibits stops based on unconstrained discretion. I urge this court to consider that Officer Folavandi's actions effectively manufactured the pretext for the stop, a practice that, if condoned, if
Now my boy says seemingly couldn't find PC for DUI and questioned ADA. I'm expecting a dismissal email. Such confidence. Look at that. Everybody have a Coke and a smile. Yeah. So now we're in June. He said, I have no idea what this means. We get something. Order on motion to suppress. So we got an order now. Let's just zoom in the regular way, I guess. This matter came before the hearing on April 25th, 2025 and May 28th, 2025 on the defendant's motion to suppress. The court has heard the testimony from Austin Validity and considered the documents. And so we went through this, this past Saturday or weekend or something? I don't know when we went through it. But we went through this pretty heavily. And what did we find in here that was pretty interesting?
Well, one thing that I pointed out was that some of the points that the judge made were lenient towards the officer's testimony versus things that I said, right? And like, again, this is it's not really an issue, but the officer said that the point between the intersection of where we turned onto the road in question was about 2 miles from when he pulled me over. And I pointed out to him that it was 2.5 when I conducted the deposition, but the judge seemed to think that 2 miles was what it was, and just a lot of things that the judge, like I said that were, I don't want to say not favorable to me, but seemed to slant in the other direction.
Right.
Sounds like that judge was practicing law.
Well, it was more favorable towards the state. And that's what's weird is because we had already hit so hard and the state had failed to respond anyways. Like they wasn't responding to shit. And we had filed this reconsideration after, we got this. So we studied on this and was like, what the hell? And she's like, she's granting some and then she's denying otherwise. And it's like, and then we come back and we're like, well, damn, she's actually suppressing like a whole bunch, like 30 something minutes, bro. And then we're like, well, let's really think about this now. They're saying that we believe that the point of arrest started at this point. But at any time, we could actually come back and argue and say, no, actually, we believe it started at this point for clarification. And so we did that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Nate, that was what we do. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we just hit back and said, no, we see it this way. And guys, I mean, I literally filed this motion for reconsideration Monday afternoon, and it was about 24 hours later that I got an email from the state regarding their unwillingness to prosecute.
Wait, we hit it with this one. We hit it with this one. Is this one? Yeah. Yeah.
And it does say closed on the docket.
Yeah, it's closed. Oh, you're ready. You see, so we hit with an 8-pager reconsideration. Got the contents in this bad boy. Preliminary statement, court's order, and then we broke it down.
Is that my edit there that you have?
Let me see. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah.
Because there was 2 or 3 paragraphs regarding sovereign citizen stuff.
Yeah.
I just got rid of.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like I just wherever it said sovereign citizen, I either put alleged defendant or defendant in error.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh shit, let me go back.
I really didn't change anything else.
Good question. You was able to go inside or you filed it online?
I took it and hand delivered it to the state attorney's office and the clerk.
And what's crazy too is my boy was calling out the judge. He was like, the court's reliance upon Yanes versus State is misplaced in the context of this case. Like calling out the judge, bro. Like straight up, like, you're mistaken in relation to how you're, like, bro, calling them out through
Well,
the.
I even said that. Well, I even said that to, I don't want to say like to the judge's face, right? Because it was the ADA at the time who brought up Yanes. And I was like, look, Yanes is not anywhere in my zip code. Like that pertained to a driver who crossed a lane line by half a car's length, which is nothing. Like you don't see that from me at all.
Right.
And I mean that is what the judge, after, I don't know if it was no, it was after my motion to dismiss hearing. She mentioned Yanes versus State, Bailey versus State. Um, and then when the ADA, brought up Yanes in the evidentiary hearing, I was like, that's not even close to what we see in my video.
Right.
Like,
Right. And they called her out. These decisions involve situations where actual traffic violations were observed and documented. In this case, the objective evidence establishes that no violation occurred, distinguishing this case from the precedents cited by the court. Again, not looking at the totality of the circumstances upon reasonable belief. But yeah, we came through and just, worked out something. He submitted it, and man, where's it at? Is it in here?
Yo, that paperwork looks fucking amazing, bro.
Where'd it go? Well, what was cool is that we was already ready for upcoming. Like homeboy was ready. He was like, "I'm gonna hit for this reconsideration. We gonna go in there and go get it." And we was already moving forward on other alternative strategies.
I was
So
ready to make them work.
Yeah,
so
we.
so from the last time I was here, that was your first time, Hayden, and you went in there like that?
um,
Cause you sound like a totally different person now, Hayden.
well, I mean,
We chilling right now.
I've had a beer.
Yo, you funny.
and my case is done.
And it's a summer night. What?
Yo, I don't know you, Hayden. I'm proud of you, man, and congratulations, bro. I feel your victory over here. Congratulations.
I
But Cam,
appreciate you,
something
man.
else, man.
Yeah, we gotta find the where's it even at? Where'd you put it? This nigga. I don't even know where's it at.
Hayden, this is Quentin. I'm running around tonight, but I wanted to take the time to say congratulations, brother.
Appreciate you, Quentin.
Yeah, man, you did it.
I hope I get to meet you whenever we have another get together.
Oh, absolutely, man. We will soon.
Is that gonna happen at Moab, Cam? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. We're still trying to find a venue. Like I have to. We was doing the research on it earlier. We're thinking about trying to now obtaining a full KOA campsite that can host 100
Nice.
people. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, they got quite a few. So yeah, we're trying to get that popping off. I'm supposed to be working on it next week. Okay, where's your dismissal? Where's your paperwork at, bro? I don't see it.
I sent it to the general. It's not in my file.
Hey, I tried to make this guy look like you as much as possible.
It's not bad. I mean, kind of CIA-ish, but
Yeah, I think he looks like a guy from Boston Legal.
Makes you look like the boss that you are.
Boston Legal.
And Troy and for Troy and Ramon and y'all made me laugh a lot yesterday. I just want y'all to know that when y'all threw these
Yeah, man, we're here for you. I got the band over here tonight, though, so I'll keep muted. Because
Okay.
I can't hear you very good either.
Okay. I laughed for a while when I saw those.
Do you want me to post the letter in the chat, Cam? Because like I said, it's in the. Yeah, that might be it right there.
This is it.
Yep, that's it.
Real quick.
Is what you sent back to him in your folder? Yeah,
Are you talking to me, Troy?
Yeah, Hayden. Is what you sent back to him Monday or
the reconsideration?
Yeah, the reconsideration.
Yeah, it's up there.
It is. It's in overleaf.
Yeah, it's up
Oh,
there.
okay.
And I edited it, so it should be. It should be what it is if you look at it.
All right, cool, man. Good job.
Thank you.
It's June 13th. Okay. So then, as we can see, go ahead, Hayden.
Say what?
Go ahead, Hayden. You want to read this bad boy?
It's blurry, bro.
Oh, you can't read it?
Well, now I can.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it says in the County Court of the 12th Judicial Circuit in and for Sarasota County, Florida, State of Florida versus Hayden Blake Gardner. That's me. Um, all those things to the right. Does that mean that the Northport Police Department got copy of this or what?
They probably did get something in relation to this, yes, as far as reporting issues are concerned.
I hope so. I'm gonna have to keep my nose clean now, right?
Well, it's
Be looking for me.
We can start up our administrative process, that's for sure. Start sending over some notice and demands, and yeah, make sure we're getting a preservation of evidence in relation to a litigation being started, and see if they want to start doing some early negotiations before moving into a state and federal claim. So
I'd get myself a big old dash cam there, Hayden.
Well, I have one, but it's
shows front and back.
Yeah, I need to get a better one.
My boy's moving into stage 2, baby. What?
I like
Let me send you the one.
I like what's his name? Eddie Craig. He's like, I got video cameras all in my car. Good luck finding them all.
For real.
Ask Quentin about the one he has.
I'm sending it in the chat. Give me a sec.
All right,
cool.
So go ahead, read off the charges.
All right, so it says charges. Oh man, you zoomed out.
My bad.
Resisting, obstructing, or opposing an officer without violence, driving while under the influence / unlawful blood alcohol level.
Wow.
NOLO Prosecute.
Wait. Oh, okay. Yep. Keep going then.
State of Florida, represented by Ed Broski, State Attorney of the 12th Judicial Circuit, hereby enters this. It's NOLO Prosecute in the above styled case this 24th of June, 2025 at Venice, Sarasota County, Florida.
What does that mean, Hayden?
Well, what I read was unwilling to prosecute.
Case dismissed, bro. Everybody unmute and give Hayden a congratulations, please.
Congratulations, Hayden. You deserve it, boss.
Because it came from the state attorney, not the judge.
Congratulations. Very, very well done.
Thank you, guys. But Sam, Steel City, being the what's the word I'm looking for here?
Paralegal.
Well, yes, he's a paralegal, but I mean, he's like he a lot of people don't like him. But he does keep us grounded, and I do appreciate him for that.
Yeah.
And he was saying that the state could bring the charges back within a certain amount of time. So I'm not necessarily concerned about it, but it seems like, to me, it seems just a little bit lower than a dismissal.
No, man.
Do I have it?
No, man. I would say this one is a straight up, we ain't coming after you no more.
Straight up one.
That's only if they catch you doing something else, they could reissue those charges. If
No, because they would have titled it something different, bro. They would have titled it something different. They wouldn't have hit in this type of lingo. This is a we ain't coming at no prosecute. We done.
They put
We
Latin in it. Once they put the Latin
termination.
in,
Yeah, it's termination of any prosecution further. Period.
Okay.
That's what this
Like a
means.
nullification.
Yeah, it's like stamp
corpus
from the
delicti.
prosecutor.
Right.
That's why
Right.
everything just disappears. Now what you need to do is get a certified stamped copy from the court
Yes.
certifying the NOLO prosecution and that the case has been closed and dismissed, so that way you can proceed forward in civil litigation.
Okay. We'll have to talk
And,
about that.
and get your embosser. He needs his embosser, and he needs to put his own stamp on it. So
Say that again, Anthony.
you should get your own embosser, and you do your red stamp. Get your own stamp.
Okay.
Hey, you know what's cool? You can put this nigga on the Brady list, bro.
Yep.
Put him on the Brady list, bro, so he can't testify no more.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
So he can't testify no more.
How do you do that?
You
How
put
do you,
him on the Brady list.
how do you put a public servant on the Brady list?
Brady complaints.
Well, he
They got a
definitely
specific complaint for
was dishonest. So that is qualification for Brady.
Brady. No more out there pulling people over and just opening their doors like that. What? Ain't doing that no more, man. That's over with out there. We're gonna protect the city of Northport from having people who are gonna violate other people's
Dude, the
rights by
cops
just
here are so bad.
tell it.
Dang.
So bad.
Tell it.
Hayden, you're gonna take my boy in blue and put him on blast like that? Come on, he's got to feed his little family.
Dude, this
Good
guy
for
ain't got
you.
this guy ain't got no family, bro.
Yeah, you could tell. I'm joking, man.
I know.
Poor little piggy.
I don't know how anybody dates a cop. Like
So
how?
what I would like to say to body cam files, not that I'm directly speaking to him, but man, looks like this one didn't turn out the way you thought it was, buddy. And all of you haters out there.
Yeah, I don't know how many this guy needs to be tased comments I saw.
They're just clowning, bro. They're
Not
all just
enough
clowning
tased.
with their hate and spew, bro. And they have no clue. All of these people have no clue that my boy has his case dismissed. And they will continue to be unfortunate. Congratulations, Hayden, bro. You make me proud, bro. I'm
Yeah,
so
you
proud.
made me proud. You giving me some life right now, yo. Congrats.
Couldn't have done it without you guys. Especially you, Cam.
So proud of you, bro.
We're the people, baby. We're the people.
Did that, G. You did that, bro. Hayden.
I want to see Be a Lion take this up.
No, Van Bolden, what was the fucking dude that took 3 videos from us?
You know what?
4.
Maybe I should just repost it up without talking on it. and just let it run like Hayden is an Operation Wisedome member, and then just let it go.
Oh, he's not gonna take anything positive anyways.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe homeboy will bite the bait that like I won't say anything that Hayden's case got dropped while uploading the video.
Kind of like
there
what
you
happened with
go.
ours.
Yeah,
Kind of like he took our video off our channel and did a hate thing on it, but that case had already been dismissed, and he obviously didn't do any research into it.
Fucking idiot.
And so then what we do is we bait him
That's
to
a great
talk about
idea,
it.
Cam.
Yeah, have him debate him to talk about it, then come back and backdoor and show that he got dismissed like that.
You need you probably need to put a copyright on that too, Cam, so you get paid on the back end. You and Hayden for. So anytime that watermark, you go and try to do something, you know where it's at.
Well, I don't want to copyright him. Let it be fair use. I ain't tripping.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I decided to do.
Yeah, just let it be fair use. Yeah. Oh, because it'll come back It's just coming back. It's just building up organically, bro. So,
What's
but
going
yeah,
to happen when the judges and the police start finding out that the judges and the DAs are just letting them be pawns first out to be sued and ruined? Right? They're letting them do it. They're just, no, get more cops, bring more in, and then they're the ones on the hook
That's
first.
how we get change, right?
Yeah, they're the ones on the hook first, man. Worth pointing out to them.
The cops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, let them take the rap, right? They're letting them
And
take the
suddenly they'll
rap.
start saying, how come you guys didn't say something?
oh my nigga Jesse really down there. Yeah, you're in Cali for real. Yeah, was you out playing volleyball? Yeah, you hot. I know it's hot. Why you think I'm in the back cave right now, bro? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Who, me? I'm muted.
No, you're good.
I was feeding
I don't
my
think that was
chickens.
me, Cam.
So,
I got to mute though. I'm in the store.
So I took off. I had to take off my shirt. It's freaking hot. It's 103 degrees right now.
Okay, all right. You get cooked right now. Ooh, you boy better have that AC on super cool.
Hey, you got free AC there, bro?
No, I do have it. Well, I was feeding my chickens though. I'm in my truck with the AC now.
My
Feeding
boy,
his chickens.
my boy be doing the cockfighting, bro. He be doing cockfighting and shit. I need to go down there and check out the cockfighting fights.
Mexico.
Hey Cam.
Huh?
Hey Cam, this Wes.
What's up?
Hey, that video of ours that went
Yeah.
over there on He Being Lion. Yeah, it's up over 250,000 views now in 20 days.
Oh, Matt Volley on the channel. Oh yeah, he gets a lot of views.
Maybe I got muted.
He gets a lot. He does get a lot of views, but
Yeah.
and that's what's cool. That's why I say like if you know just yeah, you know having him host one of those videos and then coming back or Hayden's video and then coming back would be really good. I think it'd be very beneficial because it just kind of show like you know y'all always be tripping. You really don't know. I probably just re-upload Hayden stop one more time and then just let it run through all on its own.
They just want to see police brutality, bro.
Yeah, that's what it
That's
is.
all they want to see.
Let them have it. Let them take it.
Until it
So just
happens to them.
a misdirection. There's a misdirection of the people. It's like, look, these people are just causing extra things that don't need to be happening. Just comply. That's basically what they're trying to push.
Well, it's a slavery mindset. That's why I say it's a propaganda. Like when you see the propaganda for what it is, you can see it. It's truly a monetary push for these YouTube channels, for these groups, for these bots, because they do have attack centers, bro. Like I've been literally attacked on my Instagram to where there'll be like in like it'll be like boom, 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 and then it's like hundreds of these comments, bro. All of the same type of comments, but variation of the same type comments. And I'm just like all from these counts, and I'm like, bro, I'm getting attacked. And I watched that from the very jump and showed it and put it on my YouTube just to show like, dang, we finally made the point of where we're getting attacked in this type of manner. And that to me was cool. I'm like, all right, I'm digging that. I'm vibing with that because now it's showing the aspect that they must attack me because so much truth is being spoken. Like, what else do you want me to do than continue on in what we're doing? And as we continue on, you can see Hayden come in very first type vibes. Troy will tell you that. January. Boy got the dismissal. So now he's eating, ready to move forward with some administrative processes real quick to get them a negotiation as far as with Northport and the egregious violations, constitutional rights, and irreparable harm that has been caused to him. You know, hopefully there's some kind of settlement negotiations there. Homeboy's been having to deal with this for a year now. Over a year.
A lot of irreparable harm, baby. A lot of it.
Over a year. You know how
13
many
months.
hours he's had to put up? He had to pay a lawyer $5,000 that only tried to give a plea deal.
Yeah.
Only after did he dedicate himself to learning the law was he able to receive justice based on the illegal actions of the cops, the misconduct of the prosecutors, the misconduct of the court. There were several aspects where they had opportunities to dismiss this on the front end, but they failed to do so. They seen him open up that car door. They knew what was going down. Stop playing with me. As soon as he flashed that flashlight, it was over with. Oh, well, we'll suppress this. Yeah, you better get it right.
Man.
Everybody's situation different, man. You got to come in with every single situation just a little bit different. But I don't know if it was in Wisedome today or not. But I do want to have a discussion on something. I think was it in Wisedome? Man, down.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with Shorty yesterday about how there's three different types of people. There's the people that can stand by the truth, and there's another person that's gonna try to conceal the truth, and the last person, which is third person, is gonna comply. And that's what we're facing right now.
Well, there's a push to comply, though. That's what I'm saying.
Which is the people that's trying to conceal it, which is, the people are not gonna tell you the truth. You got the people that's trying to fight to give the truth and bring it out there. Where we, the people that's trying to tell the truth, are the people are not compliant. We are the crazy people. We are the rebels, basically, is what we called.
Ato's Law. Here's Steve Lato.
Danny sent me a note and said, Steve, fascinating story out of Wyoming involving the police. And I read the story. Then I went and read another story. Then I went and pulled the Wyoming Supreme Court case to read more about it. And it is a fascinating case because a lot of people ask me, they say, Steve, if I'm out driving.
Hey, I'm actually gonna let this play out. If I'm not back before this finishes playing out, which I should be, but I'm gonna let this play out real quick because I gotta be right back.
Around and a police officer breaks the law to pull me over. Don't I get off? And I said, well, it depends on the state, depends what you did, depends on what law he broke, depends what law you broke. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that, but it's not a get out of jail free card. It's not a gimme that just because the police officer did something wrong that you will get off. So an example might be if you're zooming down the road at 150 miles per hour and a police officer's got to chase you and speeds in the process, the court's going to look at that and say, well, of course the guy may have to speed to catch you because you're doing 150. So that right there is an example. But I've heard of other examples that people ask about. So here's a story out of Wyoming. Wyoming Supreme Court says a drug case must be overturned because the Wyoming trooper was speeding. And this is a situation where the speeding itself would not have been necessary. And the court here is saying you have to look at the total circumstances of the situation. And so keep in mind that this is Wyoming. So this would not necessarily be true in any other state because they do address this under the Wyoming Constitution. However, it is an interesting thing to look at. So Jim Angel of the Cowboy State Daily wrote this story, and then we'll also visit with the Supreme Court's own opinion, which I believe is 17 pages long, but I won't make you sit through all of that, just a portion of it. Wyoming Supreme Court recently overturned the conviction of a man arrested near Cheyenne with 42 pounds of wacky tobacco in his vehicle. Justices unanimously ruled that the Wyoming Highway State Patrol officer who stopped the vehicle that the man was riding in when he's arrested should not have been driving more than 100 miles per hour to catch up to the vehicle. So the trooper's out there watching traffic go by and decides, I'm going to go after that vehicle right there. And to do so, he exceeded speeds of 100 miles per hour. And the question is, was that right? And if so, fine. If not, does that affect the arrest? And the court says we find an officer's own conduct may negate the objective justification necessary for an initial traffic stop and cause a traffic stop to be unreasonable when all the circumstances are considered. So they look at the whole situation. According to the ruling written by Justice John Fenn, the man was a passenger in a car traveling on I-80 near Cheyenne in August of 2018. The ruling said that the trooper was parked in the median when the car that the man was in passed by. While initially not having observed any traffic violations, the trooper decided to catch up to the car. To do so, He drove in both lanes of traffic at speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour, at one point reaching 111 miles per hour. And those are figures that the trooper testified and admitted to on the stand. When the trooper caught up the car the man was in, he reduced his speed to about 54 miles per hour to tail the car. And then he determined that the car was traveling about 1.2 seconds behind a semi-truck. Not the 2 seconds required by law, but interestingly, when the car went by the first time, it was not doing that. And that is something that the trooper admitted and the court found. That the car went by the trooper and he just thought, I'm going to go follow that car. He didn't say, oh, that car's following too close. So when he decided to chase the car down, he had not observed any traffic violations at all. He only observed one when he caught up to the vehicle after doing 111 miles per hour at one point. Trooper pulled the car over for following the truck too closely and then asked for a dog, a canine dog, to come to the scene. The investigation, of course, then revealed the 42 pounds of stuff that he shouldn't have had in the car. The man was charged with felony intent to deliver a controlled substance and felony possession. In court, he and his attorneys sought to have the stuff kept out of evidence, arguing the traffic stop was unreasonable and that the trooper's own driving created a safety hazard. The state district court said, now, dude, you had the stuff in your car. Who cares what the cop was doing? You're going down. The man pleaded guilty to possession of controlled substance and reserved his right to appeal the decision to allow that into evidence. So you can sometimes do that, and it's not automatic, but you've got to basically work that deal out where you're going to say, look, I am going to plead to this, but I want to reserve my right to appeal it. And you'll notice that he only pled guilty to one thing, not two, so therefore there was a plea bargain. So I'm guessing that part of that plea bargain was, I will plead guilty to this, and I reserve my right to appeal. And the prosecution probably just thought, what a dumb appeal that's going to be. So go right ahead, reserve it. Well, it turns out the appeal was good. So the court said the lower court failed to take into account that the trooper was driving well over the speed limit in pursuit of the car the defendant was riding in, even though he had observed no traffic violations. Based on the circumstances of this case, as discussed above, the trooper's conduct violated the reasonable suspicion necessary to justify the initial traffic stop. Our review of the ultimate determination regarding the constitutionality of the initial stop in this case leads us to conclude that the initial traffic stop was unreasonable and violated the Fourth Amendment. As a result, the Supreme Court of Wyoming reversed the man's conviction. So they're talking about the totality of the circumstances, which is a phrase they like to talk about. And one of the circumstances is how the trooper caught up to the car the defendant was in when he had no reason other than just a hunch to actually chase after the car. So, like I said, the opinion is 17 pages long. We ain't got that kind of time, and I hate to waste paper. But I did pull out of the Supreme Court's opinion the discussion regarding the Wyoming Constitution and how it applies to this case. So again, keep in mind that if you're in another state and this happens to you, I hope it doesn't. You shouldn't have 42 pounds of contraband in your car. But of course, it might not be contraband in your state, in which case it's a different story altogether. However, when a party raises a state constitutional claim and provides proper argument on appeal and in the trial court below, the state constitutional analysis takes primacy. That is, the claim is first analyzed under the Wyoming Constitution. Article 1, Section 4 of the Wyoming Constitution protects against unreasonable searches and seizures and reinforces the right to be secure in one's person, possessions, and property. The defendant first asks us to hold that provides greater protection than the federal Constitution when dealing with pretextual stops. As we have previously recognized, our state constitution provides protection of individual rights separate and independent from the protection afforded by the U.S. Constitution. So in Wyoming, there's two things protecting you: the U.S. Constitution and the Wyoming Constitution. And in case you're curious why you do that, well, the Wyoming Constitution gives their people more protection than the U.S. Constitution generally does. Okay? Nevertheless, in the context of the facts of this case, the result we reach is the same. We therefore do not consider whether it has greater protection or not. In Wyoming, for the initial traffic stop to be constitutional, it must be reasonable under all the circumstances. So, again, for the initial stop to be constitutional, it must be reasonable under all the circumstances. Whether or not a traffic stop is reasonable is a question of law to be decided by the court, okay? And then the court says, we objectively analyze the surrounding facts and circumstances to determine whether the officer is justified in making the stop. When examining the justification, an officer's subjective intent does not invalidate an otherwise lawful traffic stop. Our decision in this case does not alter that principle. Instead, we simply make clear that an officer's conduct, no matter his subjective intent, is one of the surrounding facts and circumstances that should be considered when analyzing whether an initial traffic stop is reasonable under all the circumstances. So there is a statute in Wyoming that says when you're following another vehicle, there is that 2-second rule with respect to trucks traveling a certain speed, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So they're going on and on about that. And here the defendant argues that the trial court was required to look at all the circumstances surrounding the stop, including the officer's own conduct. So a lot of times people apparently would say, well, we'll look at the circumstances surrounding the stop. So you're at the side of the road, what happened next? The defendant's saying, no. Back up to when I passed the police officer in the median. And then he chased me at speeds of up to 111 miles per hour, even though I was not speeding. Look at that as part of the circumstances surrounding the stop. And this court says, yes, they must look at that as part of those circumstances. So as stated, a law enforcement official personal observation of a vehicle following another too closely does provide probable cause to initiate a traffic stop. And we have approved the use of the 2-second rule to determine if there is a traffic violation for following too closely. We must reiterate that it is not a bright line rule that can always objectively justify a traffic stop. So they're basically saying, look, when you chased the guy at 111 miles per hour and you caught up to him and found that he's now breaking the law, let's back up to that 111 mile per hour thing. Was that reasonable? Was that reasonable that you did that? You saw a car in the road obeying all traffic laws, and you chased it at speeds of up to 111 miles per hour. Your speeds, their speeds never went over the speed limit. How reasonable is that traffic stop? And the Wyoming Supreme Court is saying that's not reasonable. That is unreasonable. In considering the whole picture, we look at the officer's conduct to determine whether the initial stop was reasonable under all the circumstances. In a previous case, we held the appropriate analytical framework to evaluate the reasonableness of a traffic stop under Article 1, Section 4 is a two-pronged test articulated in Terry versus Ohio. So they then say, look, under Wyoming law, we do occasionally look to federal law. There's good cases on point. We've adopted that reasoning with respect to our own Constitution, and they go back and forth on that. But the point here is, when examining whether the traffic stop was justified at its inception, under the first part of the analysis, we not only examine the traffic violation, but we also examine an officer's conduct using an objective standard which considers all the surrounding circumstances, including the officer's own driving behavior. The test is objective. We still consider the trooper's training, experience, and expertise without regard to subjective intent. And so the state and the defendant each proposed a different standard for evaluating an officer's conduct. However, we decline to adopt any new standard with respect to this. Instead, we reiterate our previous holding that a narrower standard, one maintaining the requirement that a search or seizure be reasonable under all the circumstances, is more consistent with the historical intent of our search and seizure provision.
All. There wasn't some. All. We reiterate our previous
holding that a narrower standard, one maintaining the requirement that a search or seizure be reasonable under all the circumstances, is more consistent with the historical intent of our search and seizure provision. Using our narrow standard, we find an officer's own conduct may negate the justification necessary for an initial traffic stop and cause a traffic stop to be unreasonable when all the circumstances are considered. There is no bright line rule, and the officer's conduct is only one of the circumstances we must consider when examining whether the initial stop was reasonable. So that right there, my friends, is excerpts of a 6-page excerpt of the opinion, which is 17 pages long. But in a nutshell, a guy's driving down the road. By the way, I think he's a passenger in the car. But he's in a vehicle going down the road under the speed limit, breaking no laws. And the trooper said that When he first passed me, no violations. After he passed, the police officer said, you know something? I think I might actually go and take another look at that vehicle. On a whim. Now, the officer can go look at that vehicle all he wants. Problem is, he waited so long that apparently to catch up to it, he's got to hit speeds of up to 111 miles per hour in both lanes, weaving through traffic at extremely high speeds. Finally, when he gets up there, he pulls behind the vehicle and starts tailing them. And at that point realizes, hey, he's following too close to the truck in front of him. Now, some people are going to say, Steve, is it possible that he's pulling forward because he sees this cop behind him with no lights on and he's feeling kind of like hemmed in? That's possible, but that was not discussed, as far as I can tell, in this case anywhere. But that's something that occurred to me. I've had a cop behind me before with no lights on. And yeah, you know, that gets your attention, But be that as it may, he then says, I'm going to pull this guy over for following too closely. And then that starts the dominoes falling that wind up with this guy in court with 42 pounds of evidence over here.
Right.
And the question is, was it reasonable of the police officer to do this where he's going through traffic at 111 miles?
Was it reasonable?
Hell no.
No? Was it reasonable? Y'all tell me.
Hell no.
Hell no. Hell
putting
no.
the public safety on.
Not
Because
one little bit
He
reasonable.
could have wrecked. He could have caused an accident.
Not even if he had X-ray vision.
What trips me out is this is very reminiscent of my situation in Salem that I have to go see on Friday.
How so refresh?
Oh, well, if I must just refresh just briefly. Just briefly. Imagine you're driving or traveling. Let's see. How shall we do this? Let's try and remember where you was, Cameron. Let's see. Let's do it. Get out of this. And we'll do maps. And we'll go Salem Hotel in Oregon. No. Just, okay. You know what? Oh, now you're fucking all up, bro. It wasn't over there. It was in Salem. All right. Let's see which
Just
one.
looking for slaying. See.
Was it Doubletree? It was the Hampton. Best Western Mill Creek. Okay. This is where I was at. Now I have to find where. Okay, so get rid of all these. I don't need this one. Go away. Okay, so we were here. And this is, I was going down this one. Yeah. I was going down this one. And then I turned here. Okay, so it's 12 o'clock at night. And was it this one? Wait, no. Because it wasn't no 2-lane. And where was it at? Best Western, Mill Creek. Was it Hawthorne? I came up out of this though. What? I'm confused. It must have been down this road. It must have been right here on Hawthorne. No. Where was it, bro? This is the one though, right? Wait. Okay. Cameron, you're getting lost here. When you came in, then you took a left. Wait, where's it even at? Okay, yes. And so you went down this street. Yeah. Okay. Right. Bro, I can't remember where I came out at. I didn't come out that way. I don't know if it was Airport Road or what. I feel like State Street. No. Hawthorne. It had to have been Hawthorne. It had to be right here. It had to be right here. It was right here. Sure was. Okay. Where are we at? Let me see. Wait. Wait, if I back out, where's the road at? Wait. Hawthorne. Thorndale, Osborne. Was it Truman Road? It might have been Truman Road. Damn it, I don't know which road it was, bro. Wait, let me look at layers. And yeah, like this. It was this one, Midway. Okay, so it was this road. Yep. Okay. So Midway. Okay, so we're on the right road. Yep. Okay. So I'm right here. Okay. And I'm coming on down this road. It's midnight, y'all. It's midnight. Okay. There's a cop parked right here. Okay. In the road. Okay. So parked in the road, not over here on the side. In the road, bro. Lights off. Lights completely. I'm talking about the lights are completely off, bro. 100% lights are off. In the road. I slow down and I get to almost to a stop and they hit the lights on the back that are the yellow ones and goes with the horn thing, right? So I'm like, okay, so I go around. So I probably, man, no lights on now. This is 25 miles an hour. Bro, I got to be somewhere around here, right? And then I see the lights come on and she's coming, right? She's coming. So what I do, no lights on though. She ain't got no like lights on, like siren lights. So I come up to wherever Midway's at and I take a right on Midway. Let me back out so I can see where I'm at. I take a right on Midway. It's this one. Okay. And I park my car right here in front of this house. Right here. Okay. I get out and I start walking. Here she comes down the street. Woo! Get back in your car. Get back in your car. This is a valid traffic stop. You don't have insurance. I said, I'm not getting back in my car. I turn around and notice my windows are down. So I come back to my car and I put my key in to make all the windows go up. And I was like, I'm not finna talk to you. I reserve all rights. And I go to walk off on her ass. And she grabs me from behind my arm, bro, and hems me up, bro. She hems me up. And I'm sitting there being like, holding my arm. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this to me? I'm like, this is totally illegal. What are you doing? Like, stop. This is totally illegal. You're under arrest. What are you doing? Failure to ID. I don't have to ID. What are you doing? Like, literally, what are you doing? She don't want to listen. Then the other girl cop comes. She hems me up too. So two girl cops now. They got me. It's getting kinky in this thing. You know what I'm saying? They want to throw me in the back of the cop car. Woo, woo, woo. You know? And so they throw me back there and they go search my car. They tow me. They take me to jail. She takes me to jail for resisting arrest and obstructing, failure to ID, whatever the hell is going on. I don't know. It's a bunch of charges. And when they let me out, they say they dropped the charges and all they charge me with now is interference with police. So I got to go to court on Friday for interference with the police, apparently. Now, well, let's just talk about that interference. I think that this cop Alexa DeFresco, we're not even going to talk about me right now. Let's talk about what she did interfere. She interfered with the public's right to feel safe and secure on their own fucking public streets by having speed limit signs that are posted for those who are operating on our public roads to operate on that street at 25 miles per hour, other than an immediate emergency. Me not having insurance, because apparently my license plate does come back to me, apparently, is what you call it? Not egregious, bro. Not having insurance is not egregious, bro. Like, you don't get to speed and do 70 miles an hour like we just read from. Like we was just listening to.
Per hour to catch up to a vehicle that, as far as he knows, is violating no traffic laws at all. And what's amazing about this is he couldn't come up with something. Most of the time I've heard cases like this, the police officer can come up with something. Oh, I saw the guy, I saw him doing an erratic lane change or something. But I suspect there may have been dash cam video of everything. And so at that point, it keeps everyone honest. So, the police officer's own behavior.
Yeah, what do you mean? Dash cam footage of the trooper doing 100 miles an hour to catch up to somebody that didn't do anything? Kind of like Alexa DeFresco, who did over 70 miles an hour in a 25 mile an hour speed zone to catch up to someone who had not done anything wrong as far as a violation is concerned in relation to traffic, if said person was in traffic. Just to let you know about this, it happened in Wyoming, and it was in 2022 that it was announced. So think about, again, just how many aspects of cases can be dropped due to the illegal actions of the troopers right off the bat, and how you can use Wyoming Supreme Court law, or case law, should I say, opinions, orders, cases, to support anything that you kind of bring forth, especially any quotes that they are stating. See, people don't understand, like, I think something that's really good to comprehend too is that qualified immunity is really not around like you think it is. I know people still hype it up, but the qualified immunity aspect is gone. Like, it's not gonna work. There's this video on my channel.
This is Cameron. This is Power in here, and the people.
Come on, pause, bro. Damn. Okay, thanks. Oh, I didn't want to full screen it though. There's this video. It's called "Qualified Immunity Hanging by a Thread." It's under my videos tab. Okay, under videos, you just scroll down. You'll see it. It's like this rope, and it's hanging by a thread, spread across the screen. Yeah, qualified immunity. See thread. See thread. Okay, so this one is really good because,
welcome everybody. This is.
I just read off with no interruption, just straight reading. I don't give my opinion or nothing. I just read of this document, which is a very important document. If you ever feel like you're going to be in a battle in relation to qualified immunity in any aspects whatsoever, or you feel as though you need to strengthen yourself in relation to someone trying to argue qualified immunity, this would probably be one of the best things that you can read or listen to, because I read it and I felt like everybody needs to. This 1,400 people is very low for the amount of value and wealth that this document holds. And it's an order denying qualified immunity. And it's a 62-page order denying qualified immunity from the first page to the end. No fluff. And what you'll notice is that this judge uses a lot of books, quotes, like, not law. He uses whatever he needs to use to bring across his point. What he needs to emphasize as his true understanding as far as his comprehension of who he is and what he knows to be in relation to his creator endowed rights and more. And so what this does is it allows one to utilize everything that he's referencing to combat any qualified immunity claim, because this is how the court feels now. You see, I like to scour the internet decisions to find what will be able to, we can utilize to strengthen our argument in any manner whatsoever. I also like to drink Modelo's on warm June nights. So, shout out to all my Modelo drinkers out there. All right, cheers.
Bello time.
It's Modelo over here, baby. Okay. So, I think this one's really important. Y'all should grab that one or take a listen to it. All right, Steve. Good night, brother. I don't know how long ago you said that. Chico with lime. Now, check it. I don't know if Hayden's still in this thing or not. I don't know who all's in this thing. Let me see. Hayden is. What's up, Ocasio? Oh, Ocasio. We can show something on Ocasio real quick. We just did something on Ocasio here. And this was kind of cool. Where's he at? Boom. Man, I'm so proud of Hayden, bro. We got to start developing. Do y'all know what's next for Hayden?
Civil lawsuit, 42,
Lawsuit.
1983.
Yeah, it's administrative process now. I don't know if I told Manis. Let me tell Manis. I think I told Manis already.
If you haven't, how dare you?
Oh, yeah, I did tell Manis, Hayden. So I told her, and let's see
At the
what.
roundabout, take the third exit to Wisconsin.
Congratulations again on the tremendous victory. I've prepared. Oh, wait. She said, congratulations. This is fantastic news. Means the state has decided to drop all charges. This is a complete victory. I'm thrilled that our comprehensive legal strategy and constitutional arguments were successful in achieving this outcome. Okay, I told her I wanted to get some thank you letters for the judge.
We all knew Hayden was going to win.
And
he
threw
took
one,
that over like a boss.
And threw one to the district attorney.
Y'all have more confidence than I did. I was pretending. I was just acting confident.
Well,
That's what brings confidence. That is exactly what brings confidence. You do it until you are it.
They fake it till you make it, right?
No, you didn't fake it.
He didn't fake
Yeah,
it.
you didn't fake nothing. You bossed it.
Yeah, he did too, man. Like,
Yeah,
if I
Sean
could
said
pat you
they're
on the
all
back, I'd
faking
do it.
They're the ones who were faking
On the right, I-41 north toward Green Bay.
Oh, that whole time they were faking it, bro. That's how you stick it through, Hayden. Go get him, boy.
We knew he was going to win that. He killed that.
Yeah, he was from the very beginning. That's what's cool because when I heard his first hearing and he went in, even way back when, I was like, oh shit, you're shaky. But I was like, that was good.
I remember that.
You did good, bro. I was like, yeah.
Well, they caught me off guard, is all. I just needed to take it in, see what was gonna happen, and then just do what I had to do.
You're the definition
first
of
time, dude?
bamboo. You're the definition of bamboo, bro. Swaying with the wind as it blows.
Bamboo's
that
a
other-
grass. People don't know that.
What's that other girl's name that killed it too? She only been doing it 2 weeks.
Layla.
Yeah, she was killing
She
that.
just got a dismissal on her case. Yep.
Who? Oh yeah, Layla, Texas, right?
Got another one too. And then we started working on her civil stuff this week too.
Hey Cam,
Yeah.
on my case, how do I ask for the recordings? Because remember that later I got back, how they're contradicting themselves.
Are we going into your case file here? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, if you want. That way you can show everybody.
Okay. Well, let's see. Oh shit, I still ain't sent you my address. Sorry. Alright, so it's these ones? What are these? What is this?
I think that's one of the letter that I received from the third party person, and then that other one was from the department of the Bakersfield Police Department, where they try to say that they deny the allegations, but that they found that everything was.
They gave him a rejection of claim, y'all. Look.
But the recording, the camcorder, what proved that it was all legit, that everything that I said it was true, but they still denied everything else. I don't know. They contradict themselves.
Oh yeah, I remember that other document. Okay, so you're ready to move forward then?
Yeah, because on the last one they said that I got 6 months to, if I want to move forward with the lawsuit against the city or something.
Damn, at least they're on par with responding, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, they actually responded on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Notice of rejection. I mean, I hit so many times with City of Richfield and they never responded. They just acquiesced to pretty much everything. It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, get responses. That means move forward. They don't want to talk about fixing anything. That was the call. This was that weird ass one.
Yeah, that's the one. And it says on the last one, I think that's when they kind of admit to that the recording proves that it's true.
Okay, so let's go through this. Can y'all help me with this situation here? That'd be okay if we work together on this?
Can.
All right.
Do what we can.
All right, let's see what we got going on. So, homies, where'd it go? There you go. Okay, so you explain what happened, Jesse.
Okay, so early in the morning, I went to go feed my chickens, right? Because I had to go out of town, pick up some merchandise for my business. So when I got there, they had the alleyway blocked. So two officers came to
Hey,
my
hon.
window.
You know what I just noticed too? Look what we were on top of. Aren't those fuel points? Oh, sorry.
Oh, and so they came over to my window and they said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I need to feed my chickens because I'm going out of town." So they're like, "Well, you can't go in there because we have an ongoing investigation going on." So I said, "Okay." So they're like, "Go ahead and hang on tight." I pull over to the side. I park my truck. I turn off the truck.
Hang on tight, huh? Here's the deal.
Yep.
Hang tight. We'll be right back.
Yeah, and so they walk away. They come back, and then one of the officers tells me, "May I see your ID?" I said, "No, sir. I'm exercising my constitutional rights." I said, "I'm not part of your investigation. I'm not interfering with your investigation, so therefore I don't have to show you my ID." I said, "Plus, California is not a stop and show." So as soon as I said that, the other officer opened my door and he grabbed my arm and pulled me out. And he cuffed me. He put me on cuffs and I said, "Hey, sir, I don't have nothing against officers, but you're handling this in the wrong manner." And he started digging through my pockets. I said, "You need to arrest me before you could dig through my pockets. You need to put me under arrest. You haven't read my Miranda rights." So he's like, "You're making this harder." I said, "Harder for what?" I said, "I ain't doing nothing." And then they started digging through my truck. I said, "That's another violation because you have no search warrant to search my truck." So they put me in the cop car and they looked at my name, and I got priors from a long time ago, and so they kept asking me questions. I said, I'm not answering no questions. I said, either you're gonna arrest me or you're gonna let me go. They kept me in the car for 30, 40 minutes, and then they ended up releasing me. So, but that's when I got in contact with Cam, and we started doing the paperwork and stuff. So now they're saying that they're denying it because that they have proved that everything that they did was probable. It was probable cause. But then on the last one, it says that the camera proves that everything I said it was righteous. So I don't know. They're just
Yeah, so you see what it's saying here? It's saying pretty much the allegations and findings, the complaint you filed on December the 3rd has been investigated. After reviewing the investigation, a finding was made as to each of the allegations and findings. 1, abuse of authority. The complaint alleged did not occur. Number 2, illegal search, unfounded. The complaint alleged did not occur. And then 3, body-worn cameras, sustained. There is sufficient evidence to clearly prove the allegation occurred. Weird, right? That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it to be weird. So
I don't even know what to make of that. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because they're denying the allegations that everything that I said it did not occur, but then they're saying that based on the recording, they have proved that it did occur. So it's just crazy.
It sounds like option 1, I'm lying. Option 2, I'm going to still lie. Option 3, oh darn, I'm not lying anymore. That's all it sounds like. What?
Yeah, ain't that weird?
Yeah. Huh?
Ain't it pretty weird?
Whatever it is, it sounds like irreparable harm to me. You hurt my psyche.
Abuse of authority, unfounded, and then sustained. There's sufficient evidence to clearly prove the allegation occurred. So let's get to it. Formal legal complaint. Is this what they denied?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, well, because remember I turned that in.
No.
On May 14th.
No. Read the document.
Oh, no.
What does the document say?
Oh no, that was November. That was the first.
The complaint you filed.
The complaint. Yes.
Investigated. This is our response. Now you're going to rebut their bullshit.
So on the last one, I turned in.
Hold on. Did you turn in this one? Because
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. On May 14th.
Okay. So they haven't responded to this?
Yes. The last one, remember how they told me on the last one I sent you?
Oh, okay. So that's
said that I got
down here. That's these ones down here.
Yes. But I got 6 months. I want to proceed with the last one.
Oh, wait a second. No. Wait. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh no, that's for Jesse. It's wrong, Jesse. Preservation. Oh, we did. Oh, we did drop the open one. Have you been making edits to your complaint?
The what?
Have you been making edits to your complaint?
No.
What? Boy, you better get in here and work on that thing. 17 pages. Built out pretty good.
Well,
we gotta move forward with the administrative process. So
Ahí está otra. Carita, te lo toqué y con el comando mientras.
Oh, it probably won't let me put these in. Let me see. Oh, no.
No. Put it on the other side donde está caliente. Espera para que no se me toque.
Come on, come on, come on. Open up. Dummy. They sustained the allegation and then said no. All at the same time.
So remember when I asked for the recordings, they told me that it would take 2 years for me to get them, but then they got the recordings.
Yeah. As the original, hold on though. As the original response. See if we get preservation in this bad boy moving forward. See what I can pop out. See what we develop from there. All right, what else we got going on?
So
I was gonna show you about Ocasio. You want to talk about your shit? You still in here? Yeah, let him talk about it. Yo, Ocasio, you want to talk about it? Ocasio. Ocasio. I gotta yeah. Friday. We're gonna see what's popping off on Friday, man. Be in that Salem court. Gonna see if they want to go ahead and argue jurisdiction. What are we gonna argue? Ooh, I don't know what I'm gonna argue. I'm gonna argue constitutional violations. I don't know what I'm gonna argue yet. Guess we'll just figure it out on the fly. Yeah, I was wanting to bring Ocasio in, have him talk about his situation, but he don't want to talk. So, and this other one's developing for Jesse, and y'all just kind of being silent at this point. So, y'all must be tired. Y'all must be sleepy.
No, we're trying to find a spot to park for the night. So we can be up at 4:30 in the morning.
What the hell is going on in Salem? They can't, all they're do, how can they do being difficult to the officer? What are they charging you with?
Interference.
Interference with no nothing other than interference.
Just interference.
Interference with what?
I don't know. I guess they were investigating a crime. I don't know. I don't know what I was interfering, because if I stand on my constitutional rights, I can't interfere with anything. Me walking away from someone trying to harass me and tell me that I must give up my information is not interference. I can't interfere with something when I'm standing on my rights. You got to find a crime. If I'm walking away, you can't just go grabbing me, especially without announcing you're under arrest. You got to tell me what I'm under arrest for. For what? Oh, it was those false charges of false ID, failure to ID, right? And
Yeah.
resisting. Well, those didn't stick. Why didn't those stick? So what makes you think that the interference is going to stick?
That's just all harassment. And yeah.
Yeah, it's harassment and retaliation for standing on my constitutional protected liberties or the guarantees.
Hate crimes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hate crime. But
Not to mention, what could they have observed? What could they have observed?
it
They were
don't
sitting there
matter.
in the pitch dark.
It yeah,
It sure wasn't a crime.
that's the underlying issue right there. You got it.
Yeah, and you can't tell at night with lights coming on, things like speed, trajectory, looking in your rearview mirror, or even turning around to look through the windshield. You could see some gross movement. Let's say you were swerving from left to right. You would notice that. That's about it. They can't tell you anything. Why were they there with no lights on? You could have smashed right into them.
Bro, when she came up to me and she was talking in the process, she straight up was saying, my LPR said you have no insurance. I said, this isn't a valid traffic stop. I'm already up out my car. I don't know what you got going on. Like, I'm not giving you my ID. I'm not giving it to her. I'm not involved in traffic. So it's not a valid traffic stop.
What she's pointing out is that
If she didn't know her job, it's your problem.
Not my problem. It's hers. I've rebutted it. Now what I've done, hopefully she don't show up. If she don't show up, I'm calling that shit out heavy.
Are you supposed to drive down here?
Serious constitutional violations and things we need to speak about before I can even make a plea today. Where's Alexa? Where is Alexa? I've requested a whole bunch of information from both the risk management department, both the police department itself, both the city attorney and the city attorney's office. All have denied. They've said, oh, well, you can get this little bit of information that you have to pay $300 and something to even be able to defend myself in this case today. Then they say they won't even give me the body cam footage. So I tried to obtain it to come in and make a plea, whether guilty or not guilty. But the state has still failed to give it to me completely. The city and everybody here today. But yet there's constitutional violations on the forefront, Your Honor. These people are over here bringing forth the claim, bringing forth the case. They don't even have a verified complaint whatsoever. They have no corpus delicti. There's no verified complaint. What they did first, Your Honor, excuse me, Your Honor, one moment, just if I may, I need to get this on the record for my right to be heard. For appellate reasons only. This is major constitutional violation, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Wilson.
Excuse me, Your Honor, Mr. Honor, Grover.
Carry on.
But Your Honor, if I may, what they ended up doing, Your Honor, is they brought forth 2 charges and arrested me on 2 false charges, Your Honor. Okay? One for resisting arrest when they know there was no resisting whatsoever. And then also a failure to ID when I invoked my right to remain silent the whole time and my right for assistance of co-counsel. When I began to walk away with no crime, no probable cause, or reasonable suspicion whatsoever, Your Honor, by the way, of a crime whatsoever, standing on all of my rights and invoking them to her. She grabbed me behind my back and grabbed my arm and assaulted me, and then claimed that I was resisting arrest illegally, as though that was illegal. As though if I was to resist, it would have been illegal. From those, no announcement of you're under arrest, no probable cause and no crime, Your Honor, whatsoever. And we're sitting here today now dealing with an interference charge. What did I interfere with? Invoking my right?
What did that?
Your Honor. Your Honor, this is why I cannot make a plea. There can be no jurisdiction proven as far as subject matter jurisdiction once I have invoked the rights, and there's no crime whatsoever. Where's the underlying crime? Everything's been dismissed, Your Honor. They're hanging by a thread because of the illegal actions that the city took on behalf of Alexa DeFrancisco.
Called interference with tyranny.
Fraud upon the court.
So I'm going to be up in that bitch if I got to get to some arguing.
Now, do you need to do this over video? Are you coming?
No, I have to come in. They're making me come.
Come to stay with me or what? When you coming in?
Yeah, I'll probably come in the morning, I think.
27th? You driving down? Time you're here?
Tomorrow.
9 a.m. Friday.
Nah. Oh, I think it's at 9 a.m. on Friday or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to.
Cam, can I ask you some questions?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. So, what was, so they had their scanner on that said, "Hey, this car's not insured." The like scanner that says, "Oh, okay." What plates did you have on that? On your?
I've had
Can you hold on a second?
I've
Hold
had
on,
on
whoever that.
I've had on the plates that have been on the car since I bought the car. That
Are
are
those state plates?
yeah, they're Oregon plates.
Okay. Doesn't that create a problem? Why would you? You know.
Well, I bought the car as is, and it's not registered and it's dead. I drove around or traveled around for quite a long time with all my private plates on. And when I bought the car, I just never put traveler plates on this one. I left it as is. And the reason I left it as is because it's 666. It's kind of a it's kind of like
Huh.
my bike license plate right now is 666.
Well, I was thinking
A
about
lucky
that
number.
today.
It's just like, dude, it's like this thing that's just like I already know, like it's that numerical value that I don't know. It's like a sentimental thing I don't want to let go of. I feel like almost.
Well, it's the sticker that gives them the right to pull you over. So as long as the sticker's expired, they're right to pull you over under the 96 Theft Prevention Act.
Well, that's that's a placard to them stating it's a plate to them stating that I could be operating in commerce at said point in time. But
Yeah.
the
How are you
point
going to
is,
deal with that? Because that's what they're going to say.
it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. Again, the whole issue
Agreed.
with them is to issue the ticket and not extend the stop by a de minimis amount whatsoever. They're not
Right.
supposed to arrest whatsoever because that would fall under the line of warrantless arrest.
Yeah.
And warrantless arrest in each and every state does require a gross misdemeanor and/or felony.
Right.
It has nothing to do with traffic citations. It just boils right back down to that. Once you attach that to the Fourth Amendment creator endowed rights, to Rodriguez, to all
So
this
the
other,
arrest is no good, but the original infraction they might still try and uphold and make you go through it with
well,
the infraction of insurance because
no,
they
it would
read a
all
plate.
no. Everything would be gone
But
because
it
the
already
stop
should
would
be.
be unconstitutional in and of itself.
But it already been dismissed.
The stop would be unconstitutional in and of itself. Because again, you're exercising your free right to those public roads that are open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. You see, someone just asked me recently, I think it was Ty, he had asked me, well, how would you apply the Kansas statutes stating that they can rest except for traffic violations? How could I use that to apply? I said, bring in the statute. Well, it's from Kansas. And it's universal comprehension of knowing the truth of reality.
It
That
already,
traffic infractions are not crimes.
it's already in Oregon.
I mean, hello.
Yeah, just find your state equivalent of it.
It's already in Oregon statutes, isn't it?
Some states don't got it though. Well, not all. But what I would do still is I would still utilize in any aspect as far as, when we do developments together, is having a section totally in relation to people battle, Rodriguez versus United States, and maybe bringing in Tennessee, then looking at Wyoming, because a lot of these cops are breaking the law just to do what they do. Like with Quentin's situation, they totally broke the law. They did a U-turn, sped up super fast, okay? Turned on the emergency lights, got Kate out the way, like went around Kate just to get to Quentin, to arrest Quentin, when it explicitly states that they're not supposed to arrest him for that. Like,
Yeah, and he was going at least 75 or 80 miles an hour to catch up to me because he was going the opposite direction at 55 miles an hour.
yeah,
So,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
That was where the dirt lot was.
Totally broke the law. I'm gonna look and see if I can find some because I was actually doing something for you early on that.
Yeah, I saw you tag me in that
On
earlier
phone.
today. Hey, I was going to bring up the aspect. I don't think really anyone in this group has talked about 34 USC 12611, which is the Motor Vehicle Theft Prevention Program. Have any of you looked into that?
Oh yeah,
I
we
just
talked.
said that like 3 minutes ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what
and that's in
that's
the
what sparked me.
yeah,
I
and that's
showed it to you on the damn satellite.
yeah, and that's on the advanced course as well. We talked about that heavy
Oh,
in
nice.
the
Yeah, this
In my
isn't the one I was looking at. I was looking at the one across the street before the Arby's.
What are you doing?
Oh shoot.
Where?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine. No, yeah, someone, I forgot who it was, but someone mentioned that just a few minutes ago. But I have that in all my travel binders, and we before we met Cam and Wisedome and whatnot, we were thinking that was the direction we were going to head heavy, because basically, if I don't have a sticker, I'm not a part of your program. Is how we've figured it out. So
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The less stuff you got, the less power they have to pour you over. So if you don't have the sticker, they shouldn't be pulling you over.
exactly, that's
You
it's
know,
like
that
I
gives you
didn't
the right
play.
to pull you over and check to see if you're a registered owner of that vehicle and if you're authorized to drive it or not. And that's the whole point of that sticker. And if you
Pay for that service. So
yeah,
I didn't pay for the service for them to be able to pull me over. So
you
anyway, I was wondering if anyone had utilized, like had brought that up in any sort of court aspect and had any success with it, because I feel like that's something I haven't used it yet in court, but I know a lot about it because that was like the heaviest angle we were attacking with at first. So I was just curious.
I don't know. I think it's a procedural thing that you would need to get cleaned up on the back end that wouldn't necessarily be applicable to a better argument of creator endowed rights in court. That's what I would say. And then on the other aspect, the case I'm referring to would be Levinson versus State 2022 Washington, Wyoming State Supreme Court decided on May 6, 2022 that the decision of the Wyoming Supreme Court held that the trooper's own conduct speeding at up to 111 miles per hour in a 75 mile an hour speed zone to catch up, then tailing roughly a half a mile in a 25 mile an hour zone, negated any objectable justification for a traffic stop under both the Fourth and the state constitution. Dangerous pursuit.
Yeah, I'm with it.
No initial traffic violation. So dude whipped around and turned around on you for no true violation. Meaning, what do we know as far as those violations are concerned? I just talked about it with somebody the other day. What are those known things that you are known that you cannot do on the roads?
Drive unsafely, basically.
In what way? In what way?
That may harm somebody else or put someone else in.
Yes, putting others in danger, swerving, running through lights and stop signs, that type shit, bro.
Yeah, not
about just the local regulatory, just safety shit. Yeah, basic shit. Okay. The officer had accelerated the highway speeds, unreasonable stop by chasing you and causing you to maneuver. You know, he had to make Kate maneuver. Oh, this was for me earlier, or maybe not. Oh yeah, that was for me. Frame by frame. It's fabricated. So how I was doing is I was having a conversation earlier on trying to figure out how this can be applied and what that case was. I'm glad I remembered this because this is an important case. So Levinson versus State Wyoming Supreme Court. Let's pull this bad boy.
Yeah, I mean, how can you be going 55 the other direction? I'm going 55 the other direction, and then you turn around. So let's do the math. How fast do you have to go to catch up?
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty damn fast.
Also, he whipped a U-turn.
I was gonna say, don't forget to account for slowing down to make a safe U-turn.
Right, he had to whip a U-turn in the middle of, I mean, it's a back road, so I mean, I guess they could argue. But the funny thing is they'd probably argue like, well, there was no one around. Okay, well then how was I harming anyone by doing nothing while there's also no one around?
Yeah, there's
Please
enough
explain
time
that.
for him to flip a bitch in the middle of the freaking highway.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Heck, I had one do it on a small little cut-through street that had the school on that street.
Kate and I are on a walk right now in my town of 3,500 people, and we just saw a state trooper tailing the crap out of someone, and then a minute later we saw a city cop going at least 45 and a 35, and then whip a left-hand turn, no signal. So that's safe.
Yo, check this out. So this is what's cool about this case, though. So dude actually pleaded guilty to 42 pounds of marijuana, right? And then preserved his right to appeal. Interesting.
That's that one we watched the video on.
Yeah. So that's this one. Pled guilty and then reserved his right to appeal and won the appeal. Why? Because we're talking about constitutional violations on the forefront, y'all. 42 pounds thrown away on a procedural error. How you gonna break the law and then expect me, like, what? Do you see the implications of that?
Basically, what you're saying is we can't lose.
You can't lose.
Well,
How you gonna lose?
It's them thinking they're above the law by doing that. It's really what it comes down to. But they think that they're above the law. I mean, it's just like the fact that we actually just saw today a cop use his emergency lights just so he could go through an intersection, and then he turned them off again.
Wouldn't that be their definition of the sovereign citizen above the law?
Yeah, but they're the ones that are doing
There's
it.
a difference between the sovereign citizen and the sovereign citizen movement.
No, I know that. I was just saying that's how they describe us. We think we're above the law. We don't got to obey the law. We can speed. We can run stoplights. We can tailgate.
There's a video that there's a judge and he's making a video talking about he cannot win if we apply the Constitution. So no matter what, they cannot win a case. They cannot overrule the Constitution in practice.
Right, no.
Oh, listen to this. Listen to this. We have previously expressed disapproval of the use of traffic violations as a pretext to conduct narcotics investigations. We joined in another state's court's expression. You see how they're cross-stating now? What do you mean? They're cross-referencing in their own orders and opinions. You see why it's so important to come
So
in?
we should, because all citizens are entitled to the same rights in all states. So,
Yo, can someone post this in the Discord for me? I'll just throw it in the chat real quick.
That's a good find.
This is the good. This is the case. That's the whole docket filing under Wyoming. Okay. Of concern about sanctioning conduct where a police officer can trail a targeted vehicle with a driver merely suspected of criminal activity, wait for the driver to exceed the speed limit by 1 mile per hour, arrest the drivers for speeding, and conduct a full-blown inventory search of the vehicle with impunity. Oh my God. What more do you need? It's already been established. And they sit here and call us dumb. We literally are reading from the opinions of the Supreme Court. All of it's a pretext to try and see how they can finagle you into those cuffs, to acquiesce to and succumb to their authority by will of request. I've requested you. I'm requesting you. I'm requesting you. I've asked you to step out. You won't listen. I've asked you again and again. You won't listen. Yes, nigga, because that's all you can do is ask.
So, Cam, how would you say that this relates to a Terry frisk or the idea of officer safety?
Well, there must first be a posed risk to that officer's safety, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I'm kind of being the devil's advocate here. And what? So if they suggest Mims v. Pennsylvania, just about the car for officer safety, do they have to state the reason that they feel unsafe?
Well, most definitely, because it would be unconstitutional, and you can clearly articulate that. Like I've done so many times when they say, step out of the vehicle. Well, I'm not stepping out of the vehicle every single time, right? And the reason for that Oh, it wouldn't be this one. It would be this one, which is another order, okay, coming out of the Charleston division. You know me, I love to reference orders that are coming directly from higher judges. You dig what I'm talking about? And this is another one that states that while it is true that an officer may order a suspect out of the car during a valid Terry stop, such an order is only valid if the officer possesses an articulable and objectively reasonable belief that the suspect is potentially dangerous. And that's coming out of Long 463 U.S. at 1051. And those defendants or the troopers or the city police or whoever's violating would be able to cite nothing to suggest that between initiating the traffic stop and the plaintiff's laughter or questioning or indication of their creator endowed rights or them stating that they're going to invoke the Fifth, did they notice anything that would suggest the encounter became dangerous to them. And without such justification, the act of ordering the plaintiff out of the car, the act of busting the window to obtain entry, the act of all these egregious constitutional violations would be arguably unjustified. And as such, there's nothing to suggest that at this time those deputies would have become aware of an evolving threat to their safety. Thus, even assuming this was a frisk of the plaintiff, it was arguably unjustified based on the facts alone. So again, nope, it don't work like that. You invoking your rights because you know you didn't commit a crime doesn't work into you then getting your window busted. That's not how this works.
Can you put a copy of that in the chat, please?
A copy of what? This document here?
Yes, sir.
This is
that way I can copy it.
This is the John Civil Rights Order. This is coming from John, the civil rights attorney, on a case he was working. Now, if you read through this, you'll notice how some of the arguments were denied from the civil rights attorney, from this attorney, or from the judge. I find that was pretty interesting.
The screen's all jacked, Cam. Is that supposed to be that way?
What happened?
The screen's all.
We can't see the text.
You can't see the attachment or whatever you got. We can't see your screen.
Oh.
It was all blurry. It was like the document was all blurred out.
Oh.
There, that's better a little bit. Oh, what the fuck? There you go. Yeah. There
This
you go.
is back to the other one though, that they were we joined in another state court's expression of concern about sanctioning conduct where a police officer can trail okay. Yep. Our location along a nationally recognized drug trafficking corridor likely results in a disproportionately large percentage of Wyoming's comparatively small population being subjected to what have become routine requests to relinquish their privacy rights by detention, invasive questioning, and searches, all without reasonable suspicion of criminal activity other than the offense giving rise to the stop. While we acknowledge the importance of drug interdiction, we are deeply concerned by the resulting intrusion upon the privacy of rights of Wyoming citizens. What a beautifully, man, so far. Maybe it might mess up. They might mess up here soon, so we'll see though. But let's see what else this judge has to say. This concern considered together with Wyoming's traditional interpretation of Article 1, Section 4 as required reasonableness under all circumstances. All circumstances. All circumstances. Doesn't matter if you're on the roads, bro. That's not a circumstance that doesn't fall under all. You do? Just like I say, there's no difference between being on a bicycle and walking on your feet and being in your private conveyance. There's no difference. So if there's what are
they going to do when we start using drones, man?
Well, that's why I said that's why we have traffic law reform. We just developed Colorado. Who wants to move forward next on the next one? Who wants the next state developed to start moving forward and start reaching out with the emails that we've already developed to reach out to senators, at least those that we feel are conservative enough to reach out with through research to see maybe these are the initial ones.
I wonder how Massachusetts would work.
Hey man, the same as what who was
it's a little bit blue over here.
Let me finish up my mandamus and stuff, and I wouldn't mind sending out some emails for Texas.
For real, for real. While we acknowledge the importance of drug interdiction, yep, support our conclusion that the detention in this case violated the Wyoming code. Damn. Oh, 42 pounds. Dismissed. Does he get his weed back too?
I bet not, motherfucker. I didn't get mine back.
Turning to the circumstances of this case, after carefully reviewing the dash camera footage, we find the traffic stop was unreasonable under the circumstances. As Trooper Carrera testified, he was parked in the median and noticed the Nissan Rogue and several semi-trucks passed him. Without personally observing any traffic violation, Trooper Carrera decided to follow the Nissan Rogue. As the video depicts, the Trooper Carrera readily admitted he reached a speed of 111 miles per hour to catch up to the Nissan.
100 Lawrence Avenue, I believe.
Yeah.
Lawrence Drive.
Hi, Larry. Where you
Oh
going?
no, sorry. You know that's
Observing rapid approach, Miss Bush moved into the right lane between two semi-trucks. Trooper Carrera then slowed down significantly and positioned himself in the left lane behind the Nissan Rogue, so he could travel behind the vehicle at a similar rate of speed, right? And this is probably a pretty good read, yo. Looking at the totality of the circumstances. See, when you get into that term, I'm telling you, man, that term is everything. Because they just issued out again another Barnes versus Felix, just issued out another one, bringing up this very same topic. That it's all about the totality of the circumstances. Do the totality of the circumstances warrant an arrest, especially when there's no crime? No, they do not, because again, you have rules to abide by, which is warrantless arrest. That's what it boils down to. That's what it is. Everything else must go. And this is where you want to be, bro. You want to be on an upper court making a decision for you. These little courts are not going to do this. But this is what the higher courts do. Dude literally said, I'm going to take a guilty plea, and then guess what? I'll take this guilty plea, but y'all got to give me my right to appeal still. So I ain't waiving that. Okay, whatever, dummy. You just pleaded guilty. Yeah, I pleaded guilty to take it up, dumbass. Whoop, wrote that up. Bam, took it home. Took it home, bro. Dude literally had 42 pounds and can now sue them for the constitutional violations. Like, bro, what? Come on, my guy. Both the Wyoming Constitution and the Fourth Amendment reject the adoption of any bright line rule and instead require a fact-specific reasonableness inquiry. A fact-specific reasonable inquiry. That's a good phrase. A fact-specific reasonableness inquiry, which includes objectively analyzing the officer's conduct to determine if he was justified when he initiated the stop. Quentin? Ching Chong. Anybody else? Ching Chong. We find the traffic violation for following too closely was not objectively justified and was unreasonable at its inception. Damn. Where'd you find that one? Yeah, Wyoming. Wyoming. Therefore, the traffic stop violated Article 1, subsection 4 of the Wyoming Constitution of the Fourth Amendment, and the district court erred in denying Mr. Levinson's motion to suppress. We reverse. Oh, Jesus. Take it up. Well, you gonna get your rights held upheld. Joshua, where are you at now, Joshua? What are you doing now with your life? Don't tell me you're locked up, Joshua. That's just wild. Oh, that's him. That's him. He had them 42 pounds. Joshua. Joshua got off. He had never known Joshua had 42 pounds sitting in that thing. No cap. I never guessed he had 42 pounds. And got off, bro. He was 48 at the time. That Nissan Rogue, bro. What a boss. I bet you he about that back out there still road dogging it, bro. He out there getting his deal. He's like, hey, bro, I got off that one. I bet I can get off the next one, too. I guarantee you that boy like that out there, man. Damn. He whipping it. All right. Well, that's this episode.
Well, I'll just say,